because we don't have any guests this week.
Thank God. I mean, oh, that's such a shame.
I mean, sorry.
I love having Shoe and Blaze on. They're
we
so
love
awesome.
everyone unconditionally and at 24 hours of the day.
I like Shoe and Blaze.
I also like Shoe and Blaze. Wink.
Cue the roll call.
We're live!
Connect. Loading. Broadcast.
Equipment wielder, Bluecaster, Cheetah Zazil.
Loyal and loud, Dreamcaster Lane!
One little spark of courage! Dreamcaster, Global South Perka!
Broadcasting loud and opinionated perspectives across the internet.
Radio Sentai Castranger.
On air!
I got to do it for once.
Welcome everybody to Radio Sentai Castranger episode 190?
Yep.
Did it.
Good job.
Yeah, so we're like 9 to 10 episodes away from that amazing 200. Like, that's fucking crazy.
And you can bet we've got the fun thing planned.
Yeah, we sure do. So, we just got 3 of us tonight. We've got me, Pinkcaster Lane, we got Bluecaster Shizaziel, and we have the lovely Dreamcaster Global Soft Perka, as usual.
Lane, they just heard the roll call. They know who's here.
You know what? I think they need to hear it again. We're live! On air! No. David, don't!
Play the roll call again at 5 times speed.
David's gonna do it anyways.
Oh my goodness.
So this week we're talking about Build episode 27,
Lupinranger
Patranger episode 6, fuck you.
Lupinranger episode 6.
Patranger episode 6. And something that I'm very, very excited for our feature topic this week, we will be talking about the 2017 Lionsgate Power Rangers movie. A movie that probably everyone knows I hold very dear to my heart. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it's just amazing and perfect, and I cannot wait to talk about it.
It's been one whole year!
But of course, if you look in the description below, you can watch our review of when we saw it a year ago.
Stop making me do more work!
No.
Now, before any of you talk about the fact that we have actually talked about this movie, what we did last year, the day after we watched, or the day that we watched the movie,
Thursday night, and it was a school day the next day.
Was technically not what we would call a proper episode review. It was our reaction. We didn't take notes. But now we have, so we're going to give it a... We gave the movie a year to just settle and simmer and get our thoughts straight.
Oh, yeah.
So what we're going to do this week is give a proper Castranger review of the movie.
Yeah, and I'm sad. I'm actually really sad Gar's not here to talk about it with us, but he said he has something plans for showing his...
Apparently, Gar's working on his own little side release of sorts. I don't know much about it myself, but he asked for the camera, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So, anyways, guys, are we ready to make a boy?
Gross. So Mito's in the recap again, and there was that one line where I've got to use the ging thing.
That was good.
Which was funny, and
that translates to like hippity hop hop thing or whatever.
Yeah, like boing boing boom 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 boom, because he's like super fast and jumpy and hits fast and such. But the really, really fucking weird thing about it is that speech in the recap gets referenced to during the episode.
So the recaps actually happen.
What the fuck is this show, you guys? The recaps are canon! When could they even have happened in the canon? There's been no time break. They've been on opposite ends of this high school gym.
I don't know. Maybe it's just a coincidence.
Maybe the fourth wall.
Maybe they talked about it earlier or something.
But Sento wasn't there! He made the thing and came right there!
Sure. I don't know, man.
Oh, this show. Like, I feel like these amazing recaps are doing such a good job making up for Ghost.
May I say one
Yes.
thing? Because I missed last week's show, so...
Oh, yeah, sure. Give your thoughts on last week.
The last week's episode, the part where Misora went into the machine and Sento and Banjo were talking about, we're just giving commentary on all the clip show memories. I would literally watch like that for an hour.
And the best part is like, oh, look at cross footage. Fast forward.
Yeah, and all the questions like, could you mix an organic with another organic? And
Bangle-san!
that was pretty amazing. It did well to break up all the darkness,
right?
Death lately.
Like I said during the FAQ, the great thing about Rider is the juxtaposition of its serious tenseness and its comedy.
Oh my god! So I gotta talk about this like funny tweet I saw. So it was
funny
tweet. So this guy said like, I'm not ashamed to say that every time I take a shit, I yell at Henshin, and then
what?
Yeah, and then my response was Henshit.
Well, yeah. That's the obvious response.
How could that not have been what you just said?
And the response got a lot of likes on my Twitter too. I don't know
my
why.
first thought would have been cast off.
Oh no!
Change pants. Talking about shattered grid, I'm more talking about shattered pants.
Shattered grid.
Lord Crafton.
Oh!
This is terrible.
I didn't mention this during action.
I don't fucking know.
I meant to mention the shattered pants joke.
That Goggle Hero's just like, ew!
This is terrible.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry, everyone.
So the episode opens with the debut of Hell Bros.
It's cool. It's not like the most awesome looking in terms of appearance, because it's weird.
I mean, it's logistically what it would look like if those two forms kit bashed, and kit bash they did.
But I will say that the Hell Bros, or like just like the bros themselves, they're the most fucking awesome, conniving, scheming little shits I've ever seen in like Rider.
I'm surprised that they did what they did.
No, you know why?
They seemed this whole time like just bit characters who just were minor enemies to be overcome. But no, they showed this week that they have personality.
Do you know why? Because they realized how much of a fucking idiot Ryuga is, so they took advantage of his stupidity.
Well,
correct!
The weirdest thing is that one of the things that helped me guess the twist, and I'm not that smart, so it was less of the logical thing and more, I thought that the Hell Bros was actually them fused together.
That's what everyone initially thought.
So when he said, like, my brother's been kidnapped and is being held for ransom, I was like, no, he isn't. He's inside you right now.
Well,
like,
they didn't say that he's being kidnapped. They just said, oh, if we fail, then he's gonna... My brother will be killed because he failed.
He did say that the government was holding his brother hostage.
Yeah, but they didn't.
But it could have been something like Double, where like his spirit was inside him, but his body was being held captive.
Yeah, that actually would have been interesting.
I think it means like, oh, he's being held like against from the government, that like he can't leave or go anywhere.
He was being held somewhere far away from the building.
But no, like we see at the end of the previous episode that it's just the one of them who uses both bottles.
Yeah, but then Ryuga also says they combined, so I was thinking to myself, so did like his soul go into the other bottle, or
well,
like...
Ryuga was just saying that because it was their forms combining.
Yeah, it was a little confusing. So sorry, I
understand, because when we first heard about Hell Bros, because of the obvious fact that it's a combination of their suits, it was safe to assume that it was them combining. But I'm actually pleasantly surprised to find out that it's not. It's different. I like it.
And it's probably a shared ability they both can do. So,
absolutely.
Like, probably another episode, it's going to be Engine who does the Hell Bros.
I was about to say, unless maybe there's like some sort of complex where only that brother can do it, and maybe there'll be like a rift between them where the other one gets jealous, and that could be their undoing.
And I love the song that just happened. It's like, and it like combines like both their sounds.
Yeah, the engine revving and the beeping of Remocon.
Yeah, it's so cool.
But yeah, the one thing I do love about that suit though is the helmet design. I really like it.
Yeah,
the rest
that's
of
my least favorite.
The rest of it's kind of meh, but I do like the helmet.
I like that when he uses like his Keisatsu or whatever, like the gears on his chest like actually come off his body, and that's really
he like
cool.
strike raids with
And
the
it
gears.
like shoots sparks too when he
Yeah.
transforms.
Oh yeah, when he transformed, like there was
The
like
gears
sparks shooting
grinding,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, because the gears were grinding.
I guess you
That
could
was a neat
say he
effect.
was really grinding Banjo's gears.
Oh.
But just, yeah, so, like, he was spouting all this bullshit to Ryuga, being like, oh, yeah, like, you know, my brother will be killed if
Yeah, he's
like, we
being
both
held
fail.
by the government and he'll be killed if I lose.
Yeah, and so, like, Ryuga just, like, falls for it. Like, so he could have kicked his ass, he could have beat him, but he decided to show mercy, and then Telbos was like, ha 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 ha, got you, motherfucker.
I guess you could say Banjo was feeling jelly.
Ryuga, you're too good for this world.
But yeah, they did comment on the fact that the Hellbros is the refined version of the Kaiser from the finale movie. And we even see a little flashback from the movie.
Yeah, and he looks even cooler than the Hellbros, like in terms of color scheme.
Yeah, I was
Right?
Like the red and blue, that looks nicer.
I like it so much better.
Yeah.
Can't wait to watch that movie.
Oh, God. My boy Forze, can't wait.
But yeah, while this fight is happening, we see a flashback of Banjo and Kazumi, like, talking about their reasons for fighting. And they're just staring at Banjo's build driver and Dragon Bottle just sitting there on the fucking desk in a cafe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's there! Maybe use it sometime!
Oh, I forgot to bring this up for last week's episode, but I liked when, like, they're trying to figure out who's the spy, and just, like, Ryuga's going up to Kazumi, he's just like, eh? Eh? Eh?
Yeah.
That was
gonna have him to reveal anything.
Like, just fucking
You're a
Ryuga.
dragon, not a gorilla.
Ryuga's always so quick to just, like, suspect, like, everyone.
The other thing that was I mean, we pretty much, like, it wasn't even a twist who the spy was. Like,
Not at all.
Sawa being the spy. But something I like about that is that they tried so hard to make her seem evil after the fact, like sinister in general.
Yeah.
So every time she walks into a room, the most overdramatic evil music starts playing.
Although, what I will say after this episode is, I think she's being extorted.
I mean,
It
yeah,
seems like Nanba has something on her, if you know what I mean.
it does seem like
And
that,
he's
yeah.
blackmailing her.
Watch, he has her father locked up somewhere.
That wouldn't surprise me.
That probably.
Which leads me into, also in this episode, Sawa calls up Kazumi now that he's lost his match to go do something. And we don't see anything about what it is, but we see him run into a building with his belt. So maybe she sent him to rescue her dad?
Oh, man.
I'd like to think that's what it is.
That
They
would be
have her
interesting.
father locked up somewhere, and it's like, oh, if you keep doing our shit, like, for us, then
But we have to
So,
keep
let him
yeah.
go.
But we do have to keep in mind that she was raised as one of the Nanba children, so it,
Yeah.
Maybe she had second thoughts, though, eventually.
Sawa seems trapped in what TV tropes refers to as the heel face revolving door, in which she can't decide what side she's on, and neither seems can the writers.
right?
Are you good or are you evil?
Yes.
I've stolen that from you. I
Oh.
love doing the Professor Oak thing now.
It was pretty.
Boy, are you a girl?
So during the fight, we see Hellbros pull out the bat full bottle and pull it into a funky shot, which means I guess Gentoku handed off the bat bottle when he was training to be Rogue.
Yeah, see, I own the Nebula Steam Gun, and honestly, it's such a fun toy. I just love, like, you'll never hear
funky.
you'll never hear a toy again say, like, funky, unless you have, like, Funky Spike from Drive, which is, like, one of my favorite shift cards because it was so goddamn underused.
Every time I hear someone talk about Funky and the Nebula Steam Gun, I just remember from You Don't Know Jack, looking through your trash pile, what's it say to your badge, what's it say about you? Funky trash.
Uh-oh. I won't be Funky Trash.
Right?
That new Funky mode, though.
But yeah, so Sawa reports to Nanba with the RabbitRabbit Form data on a USB stick, and she hands it off to them, and I just, I was thinking that they would be thinking, oh fuck, Build's using USB memories now? What is he, double?
So then, yeah, it's like, Sento, like, it's funny, like, Ryuga gets, like, sent to, like, goes back to the room, and then, like...
They've got the lights out.
Yeah, the
and
lights out, and Misora and Sento are just, like
Like they're
judging
about
the
to-
fuck out of him.
like they're about to drill him for losing.
They're like, what the fuck, man? And he's like, I'm sorry, I felt sorry for him. And I'm like, Sento's like, you're a fucking idiot.
And then immediately the lights go on. Ha ha! I knew you were gonna lose because...
You're an idiot!
But, like, he actually knows the tropes of tournament arcs like this, because he's like, thanks to you setting up the stage, now I can clinch the win. Sento knows the tropes!
Yeah,
He's reading the script!
I mean, he does. When he does the recast, it sounds almost like he does read the script.
And now we know the recaps are somehow canon.
Maybe this is a show.
Maybe this is a gadget.
Like, no, maybe it's just...
Is this a
no,
pigeon?
maybe Build is just a show.
I don't know.
Like, it's a show.
Like Mario 3?
Like they're filming an actual series, and that's what the Rider series is. It's just them filming a show. Oh my god.
Wow.
So like they'll come out later, and Satotaro's not dead. Fucking
They'll just come out and take a bow.
God, the Heart Smashes are dead. Everyone's like, yay! Also, you know what's funny? They don't do the flowers anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because do you know why? Probably because that teases that they're gonna fucking die or leave the show. So they're just we should do that off screen.
We know from Exite that's no longer accurate. Here God is. Or was it graphite? I forget.
It was graphite.
It was graphite.
Yeah, but then I guess they just needed him back for something. Anyway, so
as Build and Rogue set up, we see this awesome pair of shots where you can see each other from behind their belts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like those shots.
Yeah, Build's been really knocking it out of the park with like cool henshin shots
and their
stuff like
cinematography in general.
Yeah. And then just like
it's a really nice sweeping shot as they both henshin.
Yeah, and then like we get this cool like shot where just like I love that Gentoku's just like he knows it's Katsuragi, and so he just keeps calling him that. It's like it's kind of like a
you know what it is?
It's like a Goku Vegeta thing.
You know what it is? He is declared Sento non-canon.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you're Katsuragi. Sento doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, it's like a Goku Vegeta thing where just like Vegeta just like he's like I'm not gonna call you Goku. He's never called him Goku. He calls him Kakarot.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. So and then we get like this awesome thing where like Rogue is just like talking to him the whole time, but then we get some shots where it's just like
they fade in and out of their
suits. They fade
suits.
in and out of their suits, and like.
Those are nice shots.
It's so cool, and just and their fight's awesome,
and we get this flashback of Gentoku and Takumi, and we find out that Takumi was actually just misunderstood, because like he knew that there would be violence and war, but if it was all to get humanity a happy ending and a bright future, humanity will do what it's got to do.
Sort of at the end will justify the means type of character.
So we find out that Takumi willingly took on the name of the devil scientist because he knew that doing what he did would eventually be good for everyone.
Yeah, because like the guy who invented like TNT or whatever like that, he designed it, developed it only to like be used to like blast rocks, and then people decide to use it for military use, and he was like, no, that's not what I wanted it for. But yeah, no, that's an interesting message that we find out about Katsuragi, where he's just like, yeah, no, I know that when I make this system, it's going to be used for bad shit, but as long as, makes for a better future, that'll be better. So that's cool.
So Rogue gets a good hit in on him, and I think he knocks out Light Dog and Turtle bottles from him and picks them up. But then Sento gets his awesome speech off about surpassing Katsuragi and pulls out the full rabbit tank bottle.
And it's cool, but...
How'd you fit that case up your ass?
I said, giant coat.
But he's already henshined!
The coat's still in the suit.
To be fair, he takes the full bottle buster literally out of magic.
No, but that's like a thing the belt's programmed to do.
Maybe he programmed some... Oh yeah, but there was no transition.
Right? It didn't like appear in a poof, he just like yoinked it out of his arse.
Well, that happens a lot.
Well, that's just a Rider trope.
Yeah. It doesn't make it okay, though.
God, I hate that shaking noise it does. It goes like, ree, 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 ree. No, it's annoying.
You know what it is?
It's so bad.
It's one of those groan tubes.
I know.
Like where you hold it one way and it goes,
and
and you turn it the other way and it goes,
No, I hate that. I hate that shaking noise.
I think it's funny.
No, it's stupid.
What do you think, Emily?
I didn't actually identify it as a shaking noise at first either. Like, to me, it sounded more like something bouncing or like...
Which is, yeah, because Rabbit.
Which means for the next, 10, 15 episodes, it's all I'm going to hear is just that...
Does it mean that when he does tank, it'll have a different shaking noise? okay, then it doesn't make sense to be about Rabbit. It's just like it's not.
Actually,
like,
it might. I can't remember.
If it does, then that makes sense. If Tank has like a vroom type noise.
Yeah.
I do like though that when he puts it in, it goes like Rabbit and Rabbit.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing next week Tank and Tank.
I'm kind of biased because I just love rabbits.
Right?
But I think.
Oh, you must be loving this form then.
As soon as the little robot rabbit armor burst through the window, I was just like.
Yes, that's cool.
That was not in any of the scans.
I know, I didn't, and I was just like. Ah!
So it's like it's an armor attachment.
It's one of the level 3 support robots from Exade.
That's probably what they took it from, inspiration from.
So it's the perfect combination of adorable and cool as hell.
Yeah.
Like when it attaches to the back and the ears become a cape.
I was like, oh, the cape's the ears of the rabbit. That's cute.
Does the figure do that? Because I want the little rabbit.
That's what I was thinking too. Was if that actually comes with the little rabbit.
And you know what this means?
It's a little tank.
We're gonna have a little tank.
It's gonna be like baby.
I hope it has eyes.
Oh, maybe.
Is that a weird thing to say? I hope it has eyes.
Maybe.
I didn't get really a very good look at the rabbit either. So.
And it's neat, like he turns to the Black Hazard, and then like the rabbit comes out of nowhere, and then just like forms over him, and then like the second rabbit eye like goes over the tank eye on Tank Hazard, and it's just like really cool. So. Like I said, the suits for both RabbitRabbit and Tank are gorgeous. They're really nice, but I still prefer like the original Build Hazard personally.
I really, really, really like RabbitRabbit and Tank.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, I'm kind of biased with RabbitRabbit.
I think RabbitRabbit is the perfect progression for Build as a form.
Mm-hmm.
I just like Tank because it's blue.
Yeah, and that's why
I think RabbitRabbit, if it had been the only form at this level, would have been perfect. Having Tank is just a bonus at this point.
Because you have it in blue.
But yeah, so we get RabbitRabbit, and then the chime is Kuranai no Speedy Jumper, RabbitRabbit, yappay, hiye, which explains the Team Ganbarizing cards, Team Hiye and Team 2A, which means Tank is going to make that sound.
Oh, that makes sense, actually.
That's cool.
And that's when Prime Minister Mito breaks the fourth wall.
Yep.
That was the boing thing, yeah.
And so, after a little shot of Build clearly outspeeding Rogue, he pulls out the full bottle buster. And it's awesome.
And like it's cool. He does
you can put one bottle, shoot 2 bottles, and then 3.
So like what was it? It says like
perfect match.
Like just match, miracle match.
Yeah, miracle match is with 3.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I forget what the second one is.
The first, for one, it just says full bottle break. The second one is just match break, and with 3, it's miracle match break. There's one with 4, but he didn't use it, and I forget what it was.
I think it's perfect match.
I don't know. And I know if you put the full bottle in, it goes full break.
Mm-hmm.
So he does Hazard finish, RabbitRabbit finish, which is essentially a Space Jam style fake out kick.
Yeah, like Rogue actually tries to like attack the foot and then just goes psych, nope.
It just reminded me of Inspector Gadget.
And like hits him through a wall, and then they do like this bullshit where it's like, oh, he's not out yet. You know what? Continue the fight. It goes outside the arena.
We didn't say ring out was a thing.
Yeah, so
which they didn't, so not inaccurate.
Yeah, so they're like,
take it outside!
And yeah, they do. And Rogue's just like... And then this is where they decide, oh, we're gonna upload the data or whatever. So like they put
like until now
put like a USB thing in the Slash driver or whatever to like give him the data he needs.
No. He put the USB drive into his tablet and then used the tablet to upload the RabbitRabbit data into the driver.
Does that mean that the drivers have Wi-Fi support or Bluetooth support?
Some sort of connectivity.
Yeah.
I mean, they're computers. Why not?
Why is this so funny?
Well... But, yeah, so they wait until after Gentoku got his shit stomped to decide, maybe we should turn this fucking thing on! So, I will say that the shot of his eyes lighting up in the darkness was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool.
And that's where the episode ends.
Rogue is so fucking pretty.
Which means that next week's episode is going to be RabbitRabbit losing, And then Sento goes, haha, surprise! I have a second form, tank.
So that's like the one-up that fucking Sento has against Sawa, like stealing the information. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
It's safe
you
to
got my Rabbit, but you don't know about my tank.
That's exactly what I think happened. Like, he knew that she was going to give the Rabbit data, so he prepared tank as a, haha, fuck you.
But yeah, that was interesting with Sawa, that just, like, she was about to leave or whatever like that after giving, like, the information, and Nam was just like...
Remember, you can't escape me, child.
You try to escape.
Which,
and he's, like, eating, like, a fish cake or whatever like
a
that.
taiyaki.
Yeah, it's like a sort of like a waffle type pastry.
There was a taiyaki monster in Kyoryuger.
Oh, yeah.
Made in a special iron that is usually filled with red bean paste. I
Right.
know this from Dory.
And he was, like, really into it. It was super creepy.
I had one once, but red bean paste gives me a headache, so it kind of messed me up.
Try different color bean.
Well, I mean, sometimes they're full with chocolate or custard, and those ones I'm
chocolate.
fine with because they don't have... Why am I saying this? I'm sorry.
I forget if it was Overtime or TV Nihon, but one of them, when they released this episode, the thumbnail on their news post was the shot of Nanba eating the taiyaki, and they subbed it on that post as...
I'm going to pleasure myself with this fish thing. Yeah.
that.
That's funny.
That was amazing. I'm sorry, I'm being weird.
Anyways, Yokutsuru! So, yeah, Power Ranger Episode 6.
Lupinranger Episode 6.
God, Keiichiro was amazing this episode.
It was...
So good!
In all honesty, this episode made me cheer up.
No, you know what?
It's just really
I'm
good.
gonna say this. I've been having like a very, very rough week at work, and so like I think it was like Monday or Tuesday or whatever like that. I was going to work and it was super early in the morning and I was like super tired, and just like I decided like after my workout I was just like, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna go get some breakfast. So I did, and then I sat down and I watched the new episode of Power Ranger, and just after watching it, I just got like a huge smile on my face, and it just cheered me right the hell up, and I just was like ready to like face the rest of the day. So like, because
I screenshotted the whole ending speech part.
me too.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Oh my god, yes I did.
I did. I
have
have the
it.
ending speeches from a few episodes of Kyuranger as well, saved just because I.
But we'll get to that when we do. But so it starts with like Ghosh or whatever like. Blabbed to Don Yaboon about Destra, and just like Yaboon's just like, whatever.
So we confirm that Destra's informant is our old pal, Mr. Frieza Amigo.
Frieza Amigo, I love that name.
Right? Taiga 2.0.
And we get to see him like talk and stuff, and he's cool.
I can't wait.
Amigo.
I
And he,
can't
like,
wait to see more of him.
Chomps down on like a giant fucking piece of ice, and like some guy in the Kamen Rider group was like, what's he eating? And I'm like,
Ice.
it's ice. He's like, no, but it made like
Ice
it made
steam!
like a weird like kind of like drippy watery sound, and then like this one guy's just like, that's post editing for you, and I'm like, thank you. Like it's ice. That's it. He eats ice. I used to eat ice a lot as a kid.
The Ice Age!
No, I used to just
You
like
don't
suck
eat
and chew on
by
ice cubes.
picking it up, nor is it a circle.
Anyway.
Sorry, I don't know why.
I always just like getting those like ice chips in the hospital.
You love the crunch.
So we get another shot of angry trenchcoat wearing Keiichiro sitting in the public while randos in the background are gossiping about how cool the thieves are.
And he's like, yeah, those Power Rangers suck. And you just see him just like with his fucking coffee in a
Oh
can.
my god.
Brack!
Because that's what it is.
I have to say, Blaze had the best comment ever about that. He said on the chat last night, which was, that was a perfectly good can of hot.
No!
No, it was iced coffee, so I guess it was a perfectly good can of
So
cold.
then, like, Kyrie walks by with like
my
with
God.
some popcorn, and he looks over and he's just like,
He's about to, like, question him.
and he's just
Yeah.
like, oh, it's the hot-headed policeman, I gotta get away. And then like he goes up to you like, oh, you know, I'm gonna go talk to him, and then just Keiichiro just sets up. He's just like, fuck those things, they're gonna catch them and make them pay for everything that they've done. And he just storms off and just like scares the shit out of Kyrie.
I love
Drops
it.
his popcorn all over the
He's
place.
like, oh my god, I don't want to fuck with this guy.
I
Picture
just
that goes in
love-
this box.
I love the fucking jump scare-esque reaction that he just goes, Sam fucking heaven! And it just spills his popcorn.
No, and I love it
You
now.
blame him for reacting.
Kairi,
No, not at all, but it's still hilarious.
and I love it. Kairi is afraid of him. Like, he's afraid of him when he gets super pissed off. And
Rightly so! When a cop is angry, you get the fuck out of the way!
Exactly! So, like, it's great. And,
Especially
like,
when they're a cop in a Japanese show.
the whole episode, I was just laughing at Kairi because, it's like, especially at the end of the episode, he just, like, he's so annoyed and pissed off, and, like, especially a Goody. And I'm just laughing the whole time, like, ha 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 ha! Take that, you piece of shit!
Well, yeah, they had to make up for Kairi completely fucking shit-stomping him last week.
And so, like, it's amazing that, like, they go to fight or whatever because they run into
Bumdolt?
Dumbolt, that's what I like to call him.
I prefer Bumdolt, it's too easy.
Bumdolt.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
And so, confirmed that, like, if the Patrangers as well, if they just, like, fire to morph or whatever, like, in front of them, it can change
Yeah,
them as well.
it's episode 6, and we're already getting quick henshins.
That's
I think
fine.
it's because there's 2 teams, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
So they need the time. Also, we confirmed that they can just kind of will their transformation off.
Sure.
Because they still had, like, the
Well,
trigger
as we-
machines in their VS changes, but
as
then they
we
just kind of went,
As
and
we
they-
saw from last week, removing the VS machine doesn't mean you untransform, because Ichigo got his knocked out and didn't
Yeah,
untransform.
that's
so it's
true.
obvious you can just will it off, and
Sure.
then it'll happen. Yeah, so, like, they're all fighting, and, like, Ichigo does some, like, really, really cool shit, like, some sliding shots and everything, and it's so cool.
They
Like,
really
But
did
I
a
think that was
camera.
later, actually. Oh no, that was during the first
Yeah.
fight. But he tries to stall the fight so the Lupins will show up, which Tsukasa promptly gives him shit for.
yeah, and, like, later on, like, gives them...
Right after the
gives
fight.
Them, yeah, gives them a good slapping in the face, and just goes, can you, like, wake the fuck up, please, and, like, do your actual job, and, like, stop,
Yeah.
like, worrying about these guys?
Keiichiro, get your shit together! Get it all in a VS vehicle and drive it off a road. Get it together.
Yeah.
You gotta get your shit together.
This whole point of this... No, never mind.
No, go ahead.
I feel like the point of this episode was basically him getting it all together.
Right?
Yeah, no. I've been talking about this all week. Like, this episode, like, Keiichiro got exactly the development he needed. He got the same development that Shinosuke got in that one episode of Drive, where he was so driven to revenge to, like, avenge his father's death from that,
Freeze?
Freeze. And, like...
It's Frieza Amigo
And-
Sr.
And Chase stops him and goes, "You're a police officer, a Kamen Rider. You're supposed to help people, not bent on revenge." And, like, that's when Shinosuke just, like, clued in, was like, "Oh my god, you're right."
My god.
Yeah, so that's why, like, I'm, like, really liking Keiichiro a lot, because just he reminds me of Shinosuke in terms of, like, he remembers his sole duty.
So, after that, Bumdolt gets away and he wanders back towards Zamigo, but he runs into Gauche. But apparently what he was planning to do was to get a different disguise from Zamigo, because he knows that his current human disguise they know.
Yeah.
Which leads me to think, so if the Ganglers go to Zamigo to get human disguises, what if the human disguises that Zamigo gives to the Ganglers
Or from people he's frozen!
Thank you!
Oh, so that means that there's going to be some Ganglers that show up as their loved ones.
Yes!
Oh.
I think so!
Oh, that's
that
going
is
to be...
a really, really good theory.
Oh, you know there's going to be an episode where just,
They
like,
have
there's
to
a Gangler
fight
that's
them,
disguised
yeah.
as Toma's fiance,
Yup.
and Toma just can't
He won't shoot her!
Can't shoot her because it's like, oh, it's my fiance, and oh,
I'm ready to put money on this!
that's gonna happen. It's
That
going
is-
to happen. Good job, Ichi.
That's really, wow, that's really good.
Face corner chat's like, shoot her in the face, Toma! Take the shot!
Obi makes the face too, like
Pull the trigger, Piglet.
the Toma face. I love that. I love that
Oh my
reaction.
god.
Yeah. So then, like later on or whatever, like Tsukasa goes to confront Keiichiro, like in a park or something, and just like being like, "Do you remember what you told me when we first like started out in the Global Police?" And actually, I noticed when they cut to like outside the building, so it's the Global Police, like obviously because has the word global in it, but like, yeah, that's the Japan branch, so that means there's other global police buildings out there.
Well, for the global police, I should hope so that there are other branches.
There's a Canadian branch, so I wonder if there's like Canadian Patrangers. That'd be awesome. What
if they're like Mountie themed?
Ooh, they got like brown like RCMP hat visors.
You could in fact be Patranger Sango.
Their trigger machines are horses.
Oh, God.
Oh, that'd be awesome!
Oh, come on.
Yeah!
I actually love this idea.
Oh, the RCMP Rangers? I don't know. The Mount Rangers. There we go. Oh my god.
No, but seriously, admit that would actually be kind of
That'd be fucking awesome. Now, you know what? I need to suggest that in the Kamen Rider group, and then someone make it.
Get mean to draw it.
RCMP themed Battle Rangers.
I think Mean's art is absolutely incredible, and I don't want to just request something. I want to do a trade, but I don't feel like my art's good enough to be worth her art. But if I've also
that's a he.
Oh, Mean is a he.
Yeah, Mean's a he.
I know, right? I was completely.
I'm sorry, I mean.
I also thought so.
But I was thinking, what should I ask to commission or trade or whatever, and I wasn't sure, and now I think I know.
There you go. Yeah, no, ask him to do that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
So yeah, and then we cut to like back at the bistro or whatever like that, and
Sakuya is back.
Yeah, so Sakuya comes and he like
almost spills a bunch of intel.
Yeah, you can tell like Umika or whatever. It's just like, oh god, this guy again,
this asshole again.
So like. I like that Sakuya just like confidently like sits down at a table and he's just like, Umika-chan, like, coffee and cake please, and she's like, sure.
Cake set.
So then like he like goes out, he almost like spills some information about Keiichiro, and like they automatically think Keiichiro and Tsukasa are seeing each other, and he's like, oh no, it's purely a professional thing. But like, oh yeah, he slapped him in the face, and he's like, "Oh, he slapped him in the face! Like, oh, what happened?" Whatever.
Dish!
And it's like, over what? And he's like, "You know what?
We
I've said too
disagreed
much."
on our investigation methods.
Yeah, and just both of them are just, and both Toma and Kai are like, "Fuck, like, God damn it!" And then so he's eating, and then there's an emergency, and then we just see Keiichiro just immediately just like darting down like wherever he is, just like to go to fight the gangler. So
and like as Sakuya is leaving the cafe, he's about to like go out and fight the monster.
But he pays. He pays for his meal, and
no, he pays, but he like comes back to get his change.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but I loved that small attention to detail.
That was
like
funny.
I'm like, oh, he didn't dine and dash because that's
against the law.
So I love that they're keeping up with their cop tropes. It's so good.
You gotta wonder if maybe later in the show there will be a plot thread where one of the Patrangers breaks the law and has to be put in jail, and is like out of action.
I could see either Sakuya doing that or Keiichiro accidentally doing that
because he's angry,
or Hilltop gets framed for something and he has to be put
away. Maybe.
I feel like he's gonna end up being like, people will think he's a bad guy at some point.
You know what? I have an idea about something. So like we're getting like Patron minus Ichigo, right?
Apparently.
So there's a possible chance that maybe like this is like, Keiichiro turns evil, and so they have to lock him away because he's too dangerous. And
maybe.
And then he has to get whatever control. I can't wait for that. Like, as much as a part of me doesn't want to see like an evil Keiichiro, but I'm still excited for that because I still love evil, but I also love justice at the same time.
I still love evil.
If he's angry now,
I hope he doesn't say anything. I hope he's just dead silent.
I want him to get more angry.
Just more of the fucking scream. So they get to the fight or whatever like that, and
Bumdolt's got new swords!
He's got new swords!
Apparently those cost more than a human disguise, according to Ghosh.
Uh-huh.
So how much does a human disguise cost if you compare it to the standard price of swords? Actually, how much? I'm gonna Google that.
I'm gonna Google swords!
No, I'm gonna Google how much do swords cost.
Well, I'd say a few $100s at least.
Okay. What kind of swords were they?
Giant, arm-shaped, and shoot actual energy blades. A little more expensive, I think.
Okay, how much do giant swords cost? I like how Google auto-completes to how much do big giant swords cost?
Alexa, how much do giant energy swords cost?
You know what's actually funny? I'm actually thinking about getting one of those like mini Amazon
Please
Echo
don't.
things. Why? It's
'Cause-
useful.
Do you really want something always listening in this house?
I don't. We'll be in my room, so don't worry.
Alright.
Anyways, so like they're fighting whatever like that, and like Lupinranger being a little shit, just being like, he's like, yeah, I know you couldn't beat me, I'm too good, lol, and just like almost sets Keiichiro off, whatever, and then Dumbolt like uses his yeah. See, I'm so like just used to calling him Dumbolt.
Call him what you like, he's dead.
Yeah, that's true. And so like he does this like sword attack, which then Kairi like dodges, of course, but then Keiichiro just like fucking stops it and like sends him like sliding back, and then like it hits like he hits a building or whatever,
Yeah.
and then the building foundation starts falling down, but then he like grabs the rubble and he's like lifting it, and then you notice that he's actually saving Mother and her daughter.
Yeah, that
And
was
like
just
they're
great.
like, oh my god, he saved a civilian. And when I saw that happen, like I was watching it when I was in a Tim Hortons, and like I actually like screamed out a bit. I was just like, yeah, I'm like, oh my god.
Just everyone around you just like,
Well, like it was a little tiny one, but I was just like, yeah. And so like that was so cool. And then he just like
and then Patranger gives his own out of suit dramatic character building
yes,
monologue,
and so
just
I
like Build.
So I have it right here. So like what he said. So he's like, yeah. Don't forget the responsibility that comes with the authority of the global police. It's like, we've been given the power to protect people. We mustn't misuse it. It shouldn't be about defending my pride, but defending public safety and upholding peace.
Yeah,
and
that
like,
was so
Which,
good.
sure.
so like in long story short, it's like, yeah, I gotta do my job, what I came here to do in the first place. And like, it's interesting, like he questions Tsukasa about it when they first show up at the global police, and she's just like, yeah, I'm doing this because, you know, it's a good job, and like it pays well.
Well, she says she has her reasons, which means it's not just for the pay.
Yeah, but she's like, oh, that's good. And then and then we get this awesome shot of just like him like saying the speech at the same time like his past self did,
yeah.
and then it cuts down to like half of him out of suit, not in
Cue
suit.
the Patranger theme!
Yeah, and then the
that was
Patranger
awesome.
theme fucking happens, and just oh, it's so fucking awesome.
And then, just because of the dramatic tension, Goody flies in, yoinks Biker off Kairi, and hands it to Ichigo.
Yep, which I loved.
And while the Lupins are shit-stomping Goody for disobeying them, Ichigo pulls out the weapon and uses, I think it's called Biker Geki Taiho or something like that, the name of his attack. And I love, like, the Lupins are like, shit! And they just, like, grab Bumdolt and yank the item right out of him just as the attack is landing.
Yep.
It's like, shit! We've been so busy with character development, we forgot to do the thing!
Okay. Before the final, am I allowed to?
Go ahead.
I did a bit of research here on the cost of giant swords.
Oh, God.
Okay, on average, I find that giant swords, depending on particularly how giant the sword is, are about $300 to $400. I'm going to add an extra. How much more money do you think it would cost to have it shoot energy beams?
Several thousands, if not hundreds of thousands.
So what was the item this week?
Oh, yes.
Looks like a cup.
I think
It
looked
looked
there.
it looked like some sort of shoe.
It was like
it's
a
hard to
boot.
tell.
Yeah.
But according to Beastcaster Shoe in our chat, the name of the treasure is Jack Leaping Like Lightning. And in French, the title is Jacques Bondissant Téléclair.
Oh, so yeah, that's why he was able to like jump super high.
Oh, yeah, because there's a boot.
I thought that was just like a thing he could do.
So he got.
These boots were made for jumping, and that's just what they did.
So he got 2 giant swords and said that it cost less than.
There was probably like a 50%
than a
off
human,
to the second
than a
one
human
deal.
disguise. So that means that a human disguise probably costs about $1,500. I don't know how much that would be in yen.
Solid attempt.
No, see what you do is you pay Zamigo in bags of ice.
Right?
But it would. Oh dang it! That makes more sense.
Yeah, you just pay
You know it's really fucked up when just pay him in ice makes more sense than anything.
the ice dude, so he's eating ice, so, like, yeah, pay him an ice. It's
Frizo,
like, sweet.
Frizo Amigo.
Yo, this ice is fresh from the freshest glaciers in the Antarctic.
Ooh, ice cold!
But yeah, and then,
Why did I do that?
Apparently using that Geki Taiho attack just plain old Tucker's Patranger right the fuck out.
And also when he used, so he, like, Patranger launches the bike attack, and, like, they manage to steal the item out of him, but then the wheel, like, goes into the safe, and just, like, ignites them from the inside.
That was awesome, actually.
And then it, like, singes, like, Lupin Red's cape a little bit, and you actually notice it. So that was nice. And yeah, so then decide, alright, let's fucking go, and then, like, he grows big or whatever like
Ghost
that.
Ghost comes in and re-oozes him. That's what I'm gonna call it from now on.
Yeah, that's pretty much
I would love for there to be 1 week during this show at some point where the Dawn just decides, fuck him!
Don't make him come back.
Don't
so
reuse him.
it's like in Ninja Steel, where just, like, they decide whether to gigantify the monster of the week or not.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So, the Pados carry off their fainted leader, and Lupin Kaiser steps in, and cue the Lupinranger theme!
Yeah, because why the fuck not?
Because they still have Cyclone, and by damn, we're gonna debut it!
Oh yeah, they had the switch.
God, it looks awful on Lupin Kaiser.
Agreed.
Oh, my. It just, like, it doesn't look good, like, spread apart like that with the two propellers or whatever. It just looks weird.
Like, sure, it does its job of being the wind-themed power-up.
And the green's, like, too bright, too.
It's a really weird fluorescent shade of green.
Yeah.
It looks very toy-like.
In terms of what it can do, though, holy shit. They did this cool, like, cyclone machine gun rapid-fire attack. It was really
Rapid-fire
awesome.
blow-away shot.
Yeah, and, like, it's funny, like, they scare Goody or whatever. I forgot what, like, Thomas says, but, like, he says something, and he's just like, no, you wouldn't do that, would you? And Thomas like, oh, you bet.
Oh, they said they were going to polish him roughly or
with
something.
With a file.
Yeah, polish him with a file, and he's like, no, don't do that! I'm like, I legitimately felt so sorry for Goody.
I didn't. He stole their shit and handed it to the enemy.
And also when Kairi went to fire the final attack, he just pushes Goody out of the way.
He's like, yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then
So we go back to the bistro, and Kogure decides to let them keep Cyclone because it's compatible with the VS Changer, which explains how they'll be able to keep using power-ups, whereas the Gangler-style Lupin collection items will need to be collected. And then we see the Patranger in the base, and we see this amazing warning poster of the Lupinrangers that's on their wall.
They have like these like cute, like kind of like mischievous looking faces on them. They're like, hey, like we're little shits.
And like Lupin Red's got this king's crown on him, and I'm like, that's not there. You exaggerated that.
That's because he's the leader. He's the
leader of the bunch. You know him well.
And finally back to kick some
raise some hell.
Sure. And then just like it ends with this Keiichiro just being like, Lupin Red, who are you under that mask?
Why does he wear the mask?
LOL!
So next week we get to see Pat Kaiser Biker,
which I will say, Pat Kaiser Biker, that looks awesome,
right? And apparently the Sakumi shipping begins
Sakumi!
already.
Oh, that works too well,
right?
Oh my god!
I came up with that.
Wow, well done, Ichi. So yeah, they're like apparently somehow Sakuya convinces Yumiko to go on a date with them. Or
unless it's
you know what? It's probably to get info.
I guarantee
it's
you,
to get
Kairi and
info.
Toma are like, fucking do it, like get info.
This guy's fucking stupid. Like, get him! Come on! Come on, Damien, right here! Come on!
Nice.
But yeah, so this episode was like one of my absolute favorites. Like, I love Keiichiro. He's like my favorite character in this series, and if he keeps going the way he's going, yeah, Lucky might be going down to number 2.
Why am I not surprised?
No, but I went on a tangent about this before. Like, sure, yes, I do have a habit of changing my mind about shit, but I have reasons.
Sure.
Something better comes along.
I have reasons.
Also,
they're the reasons of the season.
We explained in our Keiichiro end Keiichiro discussion that I I see Lucky like Garu sees Lucky. I'm just like, no, Lucky's fucking awesome, so I love him to death.
You slobber over him.
Yeah. So, like, I think I might just like Keiichiro better as a red just because who he is as a person. And I just like Lucky because I got into the hype for Lucky.
So I was watching this episode yesterday, and Greencaster was over here watching it with me, and he starts talking to me like...
Oh, yeah.
So, like, do the Lupinrangers, like, actually steal anything? No, they just steal the Gangler's Lupin collection pieces, and they're only stealing it back because they apparently stole it first from Lupin. So they're not thieves, they're just contractors. So why are the Power Rangers getting all uppity about them? Because they're interfering with police business, that's really all it is.
That actually makes sense.
The Lupin Rangers aren't actually thieves.
Yes, and as I've kept fucking saying, they're interrupting with police work. So.
Which that's the reason.
Yeah.
Blaze says the Lupin Rangers are Spider-Man.
Fuck.
Get me pictures of the Lupin Rangers.
I want Lupin Rangers! I also want that to be the thumbnail of just Jameson or whatever like that, just yelling, and then there's like he's holding the poster.
Yeah, the poster.
Yeah, he's holding the Lupin Ranger poster. That's got to be the thumbnail.
Alright.
So you just got to find the shot of him exactly going like, I want Spider-Man! He's just like holding the Lupin Ranger wanted poster in his hand. That's perfect. Gar's gonna love that when he sees it.
Yeah, that one's great. J. Jonah Jameson jokes are never not good.
And J.K. Simmons is just a fucking boss. That's why. Anyways, so on to our featured topic. It's Morphin time.
Featured topic.
So, yes, this week we were talking about the 2017 Lionsgate Power Rangers movie, and just, I've watched, this is my third time watching it, and, like,
Only 3 viewings in a year? I'm ashamed.
No, you know why? Because this movie, like I said, it's very special to me. I keep it very close to my heart, because, like, it was just...
I sleep with it under my pillow every night.
Well, it's fantastic. Like, I have, like, my huge Blue Ranger collection, which, if it's not fucking obvious, Billy is my favorite character. It's pretty obvious fucking why. And then when the movie came out on Blu-ray last June, I bought 2 copies of it because I wanted to support this movie as much as possible. So I'm proud to say I own 2 copies of this movie. And when I rewatched it again, I've never had a movie that's made me feel more than this one. Like, it made me laugh, it made me cry, like, it made me, like, cheer out in excitement and stuff, and, like, cheer for these guys, and just, like, this movie's fucking fantastic, and, like, to those who don't like it as much as I do, if you didn't like it, if you find flaws in it, that, like, you're welcome to. That's your opinion, but, like, for me, I think this movie's honestly perfect, and... No one's opinion is going to change my thoughts on that, like, ever. So...
I will say that watching it, I mostly enjoyed it. I'm not trying to change your opinion, so... There are parts of it that drag on. There are parts of it that are slightly annoying. There are parts of it that I feel were unnecessary. But on the whole, I think this movie was enjoyable for the experience of the performances of the characters as they grew to become friends.
Because, you know why? Because they made you got to know all 5 of these guys, and you got to know what they were like, what they loved, what they hated.
It wasn't just them. The thing is, people said the Power Rangers movie didn't have enough Power Rangers in it.
That's not the point! And that's why I'm not mad that we only got to see them in, like, the last, 20 minutes of the film.
It was like an origin story, but at the same time, since the characters were already so established as being Power Rangers, it seemed a little bit weirdly paced.
Exactly, and I liked that, like, outside of them being Rangers, like, they have their own little powers. They have, like, super strength and jumping power and, like, a bit of durability and
you know
stamina.
what it is? I finally figured out what that was about.
What?
Because Zordon says that the armor is within them, and they needed to morph to call it out. So the reason they were so strong and could take hits is because the armor was part of their skin.
Oh, that makes...
They were Kuga!
That's badass!
They were Kuga!
Fuck yeah! See, there you go. I never even picked up on that. That's so great. But yeah, so we start this movie off with... It's
the Cenozoic era.
It's 65 million years ago on Earth, and it's Angel Grove, like, in the
Well,
Cenozoic era.
it doesn't have to be Angel Grove. It could be anywhere on Earth.
Well,
it's the Cenozoic era.
Sure. Well,
It could be fucking Pangea.
well, that's where the CO crystal was. It said it was buried in what is now Angel Grove. Like, they state that in the movie.
Well, yeah, but was Earth the way it was in the Cenozoic era, or was it Pangea? I don't know.
I don't know.
No, I think Pangea was like a thing that was like millions, like billions of years ago.
I don't know.
But anyways,
So Zordon, the first Red Ranger that we know of, dies in a rubble as we see him take the final coin from the Yellow Ranger, who never really gets identified, outside of
I think-
Rita
you know
saying
what?
that she enjoyed killing her.
do you know what I think she was? I think she was, I think, what were they, Equations? Like from Aquatar? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the right name.
She kind of looked like she had kind of like a fish kind of thing going on with her. So, sort of. I will say this.
She looked like, I can't remember the name of the race from Star Trek.
I will say this, though.
Hold on, Q was his name?
Who?
From Star Trek?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She kind of looked like one of those.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
forget
remember
what
the name of
is.
that race.
Oh, I don't know either.
But basically, Zordon tells Alpha to send down the meteor. Alpha killed the dinosaurs!
Bill Hader, you son of a bitch. I will say one thing, though. I kind of wish we would have seen, like, the other four.
Me too.
Or the
Right?
other three Rangers. Like, that would have been nice to see, like, the whole team, just so it's like,
Yeah.
oh, these are what they looked like before they all got strapped. But,
And, like, as we saw in that fan-made film Zordon of Eltar, there are plenty of other non-Earth characters that could have formed Zordon's team.
yeah. And what's cool is, like, we got to hear, like, Bryan Cranston or whatever, like, talking, like, this really cool, like, ancient dialect, and it's
It's
super
so
fucking awesome.
funny. We're just Rita, Zordon,
Prazawa Palace!
Prazawa Palace!
General Scales! Fucking Star Fox Adventure. Yeah, that's what that was. And then we get to see, like, Rita in her, like, Green Ranger outfit, which, it's cool if you notice that when we see her later, when she, like, she's trying to, like, reform her, like, Green Ranger armor, but it's,
doesn't
like,
go all
it's
the way.
broken, so it doesn't go all the way, so it's kind of formed on her, but not entirely, so I thought that was a nice little thing that was, like, oh, it's just her Green Ranger suit, but, like, not fully completed.
I feel like that's something we should have more of, where villains are former
Partially
Rangers
morphed?
whose suits are partially there and partially evil.
See, that's what we need to have. That's why Lord Draken.
Yeah, that could have
like
been so
fucking
cool.
Lord Draken's so cool because it's the best Power Ranger as the villain.
Oh, by the way, I meant to mention, we were talking about Ranger Slayer last week in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
Ranger Slayer is apparently not the name of that big War Greymon-looking Megazord. Ranger Slayer is a evil Pink Ranger who commands that Megazord.
Oh,
And she's got like a evil-looking helmet and like a black cape and shit.
wow! So Tommy literally made Kimberly his bitch.
Oh no.
I mean, I can't
Like
confirm
that
or
thing to
deny.
your John letter, motherfucker.
I don't know.
I
I gotta read the comics.
Yeah, really. So they like the Yellow Ranger dies, and then like Zordon buries the coins, and then it cuts to like hearing like this
Modern.
like distinct like cow mooing, and then it cuts.
Oh yeah, the
cut-
freaking beginning of this.
Yeah, so
This is one of the things that I think is wrong
I
with the movie.
forgot
Okay.
about the cow singing joke.
Yes,
It was a ball.
so they made like a cow
Yeah.
jerking off joke,
And here's the thing, if you have to really sit and think about that, why would this idiot think that it was a female cow when
It has
the-
horns.
because dumb stupid teenagers.
it has horns and the word bulls is plastered all over the walls of this school?
Also, some cows can have horns, but not to that extent.
Yeah. So they're trying to commit a prank or something like that to the football team where they just keep a cow in the locker room. I don't know how that's
They're
weird and
stealing.
funny.
They're stealing the rival school's mascot to humiliate them. That's what that was.
Oh, okay.
It's been a thing in lots of high school stories.
All right.
Including, it's also in Monsters University.
So, so Jason tries to get out of there, and
We get the most nauseating car scene in all of film.
I don't think I've ever seen a kind of shot like that from in a car, so I
don't
thought
like
it was
it.
unique.
It was
I can
unique.
see why it was
It
nauseating.
was unique and ambitious, and I appreciate the effort. But Jesus Christ, I have never wanted to actually vomit during a movie.
Also, I like the use of like slow motion in this movie. Like when it shows him like it cuts to like him in front or whatever, and like he's like rolling around the truck, and then you see him just kind of like and then he's just like really messed up in the car, and then it cuts to like him going to school. with a.
Oh, by the way, now that I've watched The Office, I recognize that Jason's dad is fucking Roy.
Yeah, Pam's former fiance.
I guess the breakup with Pam hit him hard.
Oh, Pam left me. It was with you. They just dumped Jason on his doorstep.
Oh my god, I had so much more fun watching this movie with that thought.
Yeah, so as we get introduced to Jason, and we find out that he was the star football player on Angel Grove football team, and he hurt his knee, and
during that accident, he fucked up his knee,
and then he decided to not just be a little shit for some reason, and didn't care about.
I love that his dad specifically says to him, "This is supposed to be your season," and just
I brought scouts to watch your games. And
I'm just thinking season in terms of Power Rangers seasons.
Oh my god!
There's an endless supply of jokes you could put in there.
And I like that his dad's just oh, now for the rest of the year, every Saturday for the rest of the year, you have to hang out in detention with these thugs and criminals and
Breakfast Club.
And
right?
Just so you can graduate, and then it's stop being such a smartass. And Jason's just responds with, like you said, we'll never understand each other. And I'm just so then
you may be Roy, but I'm not your boy.
So then we get introduced to Kimberly, who played by Naomi Scott, and just I will say this, she was
one of the popular girls.
I will say this, she is hot.
Sure.
My god.
Sure.
No, I think she's really hot. Pre-cutting her hair and after cutting her hair. She looks really attractive. And then we get also introduced to my favorite character of the movie,
well,
Billy.
Before we move on from Kimberly, something I wanted to point out, so when she's talking to her friends in the bathroom stall and they disown her, and this one bitch actually pulls out a picture and cuts it up. I'm
did she just keep that picture specifically to
probably?
And then the really weird part is she jams the picture into the bathroom wall by stabbing scissors into the wall.
No, and did you notice that the scissors were pink?
I didn't. But the thing to note here is, how strong is this girl? She just stabbed scissors into drywall.
Exactly, drywall. Drywall's really not that strong.
I don't know.
Anyways, so then Kimberly decides, I'm gonna cut my hair because I don't give a shit. I'm a rebel.
She pulls a garnet from F9.
You know what? It was a nice look for her. So then we get introduced to my favorite character of the movie, Billy Cranston, the Blue Ranger. And so if you haven't realized in the movie, he's on the spectrum. He's autistic, just like me. And
I noted that he says he's on the spectrum, but not once in the movie do they ever have him say that he's autistic.
But that's what that means.
No, I know, but I like how they sort of avoided using the word.
Yeah, well, it's they didn't flat out say, Trini's a lesbian, so...
Also that.
Yeah. But, yeah, so honestly, watching Billy in this movie, it was like looking in a goddamn mirror, because, I related so much to him, and a lot of the shit he did in this movie is probably what I would do.
And you know what? I hope this doesn't offend you, but I did actually understand his character a lot because of living with you.
Yeah, no, that's not offensive.
That's
that means a lot hearing that, because I'm glad you finally understand. See it my point of view.
Well, it's not that I never didn't.
Mm-hmm. No, of course not. No, honestly, out of everyone who understands my autism the most, you do, honestly, and that's great. But no, there are some differences between us because he's really into he knows math really well, and he remembers timing and just remembers certain dates and everything, and me, my memory is also really, really good for shit, but I have things that they have to trigger in my head to remember stuff. And he enjoys mining, and he's all about symmetry because you see he's trying to arrange his pencils in a certain order, and then this asshole bully comes in and just breaks his pencils, knocks them on the floor.
By the way, about that kid, since I was watching the movie with the subtitles on, they said his name later in the movie.
It was Colin Wallace or something.
Colt Wallace.
Yeah, Colt Wallace. So
I missed opportunity for Bulk and Skull.
No, because maybe we'll get them in the potential sequel,
which we don't even know if it's happening or not yet.
Didn't this movie flop spectacularly?
It got its budget back and just a little bit more, but then it did do very well in merchandise and home movie sales. I think for a straight 2-3 weeks, it was the number one most sold home movie.
Maybe a lot of people just didn't see it in theaters.
Well, because it was for a small demographic, unfortunately.
A lot of people just
it,
want to watch it on DVD.
The thing is, it was aimed for people who were not necessarily existing fans of the franchise.
Yeah, but then the fans who did see it did enjoy it. And you know what? I could tell in Billy's face, like when he broke the pencils, like you could see, like in him inside, it was killing him because that's like me. Like if you like took something of mine, like my Forza figure art, and you just like turned how I'd be like in my head, I'd be like, oh my god, why did you
Honestly,
do that?
just thinking of that is making me feel gross inside.
Yeah, it's like if one of my friends like if someone I knew smashed my driver.
I actually feel sick in my stomach a little just thinking about that.
Yeah. So, and then just Jason comes in with just this amazing, just like fuck you to the bully, and like stands up for Billy, gives the bully a nice fucking slap in the face, and it was so good.
Holy crap! Can you hear that slap?
Yeah, and I remember I was watching it, and I just went like, ha, yeah, and just like he's like, slap me, and he's like, yeah, weird, right?
Which gets called back.
Foreshadow for later. And so he and Billy sees this as like a potential, like, you know, potential for a new friend. And,
I have a friend.
And you know what? That's kind of what I would do as well. Like if I met someone and someone stood up for me or something,
begins.
Right?
Yeah. And so like Billy goes up and he says like, yeah, I'm Billy Cranston or William Cranston or, you know, Billy Cram's ton, like Billy Cram's tons of crayons up his butt. Like I never actually did that.
He just launches into his story.
Yeah, and he starts like going off and talking like I tend to do a lot, especially at work. So like people have to like tell me to shut up just to get me to stop talking. So, yeah. So then like Billy asks him like, oh, like, do you want to hang out or something? He's like, oh, I'd love to, but like I'm under house arrest, so if I don't get back home by 7 o'clock, like, you know, this thing will go off and I'll get in trouble.
And
he's
Billy is like, no, I got it, bro.
I got this. I can do it. And so like. Jason goes home. He's kind of like hates hearing his parents arguing about him, and so he like breaks a football trophy for.
Now that our son can't play football, he has no value.
Also confirmed Jason has a little sister because we see her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he decides like, you know, I got some time. Fuck it, I'll go over to Billy's house. And so like we get this awesome, cool like biking scene, and then we see some girls just go like. Is that Jason Scott?
Oh my god, it's Jason Scott.
Yeah, and then like
apparently he's a local legend.
Well, because he's like the best football player in Angel Grove.
Yeah.
So like he knocks on Billy's door, and Billy's mom answers and goes, "Oh my god, you're Jason Scott! Bless my biscuits, it's Jason Lee Scott!" And just every time I see that scene, like just her reacting, it gets such a chuckle out of me because I think it's so funny. Even thinking about it. So then he goes down to Billy's basement and. If you notice in the background, there's actually a Finster, Squat, and Babu figures.
I saw Squat and Finster. I couldn't make out Babu.
Yeah, but they're
cool.
there, so that was like a nice little
Like
Easter egg.
putting the random moth in the Godzilla movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So then Billy helps him like take off the thing, and like he's like talking about.
He like hacks the SIM card on his foot
He's
brace.
going full like Aspie on him, and it's super funny. And
like,
Jason's like, "Come on, man! Like it's gonna go." He's like,
I got it. By the way, did you know my dad's dead? Yeah, we used to do all this stuff. Yeah, your thing's fixed now.
Yeah, and like I love that.
They needed to have the character development.
Yeah, it makes him so dope. And then like he's like, "Okay, I need you to help me like drive me to this place or whatever." Like,
wait.
What?
Blaze just brought up something in the chat.
Oh.
So Jason's dad is played by Roy. And their last name is Scott.
Oh,
Who else from The Office has the last name Scott?
Michael. Ah! Office reference!
I don't think really.
No, please, God, no! No!
Someone has to dub over the breaking the trophy scene.
I've got it. Steve Carell needs to replace Steve Cardenas as the next extra mid-range.
Fucking Steve Carell's Rocky? Oh, no.
Steve Carell.
It's Morphin time, guys! So yeah, so like I like that Jason's like, so like when are we getting there? And he's just like, and Billy's like, like 44 minutes 52 seconds, and I'm just like,
well, okay, son of Google Maps.
Well, that's like me when I go to work. Like I know like it takes me exactly 40 minutes to get to work, like my work from home. So I know all my routes. I know how to get there. I know the exact timing of when the buses and trains come.
So as Billy and Jason work on this gold mine, Billy explains his being on the spectrum to Jason.
And Jason goes like,
"It's fine. You don't have to explain. We're cool."
Yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, sorry. Like, I don't understand sarcasm and jokes and stuff. Like, my brain's different from yours." And like, I remember when I first like he was explaining this, like when I first saw it in the theater, like my face just lit the fuck up.
I've never
I was like,
seen a
oh
movie,
my
actually.
god, it's me! It's fucking me! And I was like so happy. And like the best part is he's the Blue Ranger, and the color that represents autism is blue. So it's just like even more fucking mind blowing. So like goddamn. So it's cute when like Jason's just like walking off. And he's just like, "Bye, Billy," and
He
Billy
literally
just
bails on him mid-story.
And it's interesting. Billy looks up, and for a second you can see like in his head he's like, "Oh, he's leaving. That kind of sucks." Well, anyways, he just continues on going with what he's doing.
Hi-ho.
So yeah, he like plants explosives and stuff.
Which, by the way, where did you get those?
He probably made them.
You think you
Wouldn't
just
make makeshift
made
explosives.
bombs?
Wouldn't surprise me
He
that
probably
much.
he made like C4 or something like that.
He probably learned how to make it from his dad.
Yeah, plus from my dad.
He learned it by watching you.
Oh God. So then we get introduced to my second favorite character of this movie, Zach,
Just chilling out on the train, spying on Trini.
like, and I mean he's the second best character in this movie because
sure.
oh my God, is he fun as hell.
Oh, absolutely.
He's like the really like energetic, crazy, reckless, ambitious one, and he just wants to be famous because like in one of the trailers we saw him like dressed in a ninja costume, like just jumping on a train, running on a train.
Yeah.
Because apparently that was a deleted scene where like he was
right.
he wanted to be a YouTube star, so he's trying to make a YouTube video of him just like doing weird stunts on like trains
You
and
should
stuff.
audition for the Power Ranger
forgot about
audition
that.
with no acting required.
So that was the deleted scene. It's just him recording himself doing shit on a train, like I'm on a moving train. And so he's stalking Trini, because it's supposed to be Trini, but they pronounce it as Trini. Yeah, because Trini sounds more like an Asian name, unfortunately. So.
Sure.
And he's just like calls her crazy girl because like she's like listening to like rock music and like meditating on a rock or whatever. So
Well, fitting music.
Sounds more like metal music.
yeah, well yeah, because you can use any kind of music to calm you down. So. And then, like, Jason's leaving, and then he hears, like, some noise in the forest, and then he goes and finds Kimberly, and she's, like...
Cliff diving,
and then, like, she doesn't come out of the water, like, fast enough, and he thinks she drowned.
Or rather, she apparently comes up far enough away that he doesn't see or hear it.
Mm-hmm. And so they have, like, this really, like, cool, like, discussion or whatever like that, saying, like, oh, well...
Bitch, you don't know me!
Like, I have a van. Oh, is it that kind of van? No, it's not that kind of van. Every van is that kind of van.
Yeah,
and so,
sure.
Like,
what kind of van was
too.
she referring to?
Like
The
the
creepy
you know
white van.
those like white vans with like no windows.
Creepy pedo vans.
Yeah, those
Okay,
like the
yeah,
pedo vans.
creepy van.
So they're like, oh, well, we run away together, and it's like, yeah, sure. And then like Billy just like tries to set off his explosive or whatever, and he's like pretending to talk to his dad or whatever, because like
Yeah.
people talk to themselves. I'm guilty of it as well. I talk to myself out loud because it helps me think.
One thing that Kimberly mentioned that I think is worth noting is like they're talking about like their school and potentially leaving town, and at one point she's like, "Go Tigers!" Is Angel Grove High School's mascot the white tiger potentially?
Maybe. So yeah, and then they all like kind of gather together, and like Trini's like on top of like the cliff or whatever like that, and then when like the rock slide happens after the explosion, she like falls, but it's really weird that like she didn't really get badly hurt or died from that.
Right.
So like that was kind of weird, but
The
like
power was already protecting them.
ooh, oh, there you go. And so like they find the coins, and like Zach just immediately being reckless is just like, no, you're gonna bash this thing open and get the coin. And like Jason's trying to like be like, no guys, this is the Billy found these, they're his coins. And then like they just all decide to share them anyways. And then like they get the fuck out, and like they're driving the van, and then like he makes Billy drive the van, which
I actually enjoyed this chase scene way more.
it was fun. And like eventually like they all get in the van, and like Billy starts driving the van, and like he's scared shitless.
For someone who doesn't know how to drive, he drives it pretty well, I'll say.
I think I would too, but I would still be paranoid
yeah,
shit
you'd be
because
scared,
like
but...
because I hate when like fast driving in a car and like really weird turns and sudden braking, and like so like when Jason was doing all that shit, like Billy was losing his mind, and like I was like, yep, I feel you, bro. I would do the same thing. And then like Zach like jumps onto the roof of the fucking van.
I wanted so bad for there just to be a shot of him like surfing the van.
Oh, that would have been cool. Like,
Zach
woo!
goes really hard in this movie.
Would have been awesome. Yeah, no, he's such a reckless like son of a bitch, and I love it. So then he,
They all get in the van, and they try and get around the train before it goes, but they don't make it.
Even when I saw this for the first time, I'm like, guys, are you fucking stupid? You're not gonna make it. And then you just see like, no, we'll be fine. And just like it hits them, you see them like rolling down a fucking hill. And
they
then
get
just,
Hancocked.
Yeah, they get destroyed. And then it just cuts to them
waking up in bed perfectly fine.
Waking up in bed perfectly fine.
Because the power protected them.
Yeah. And then it cuts to like Jason's dad like on the boat or whatever, and they release some fish, and oh, there's Rita's body.
She's looking like a shriveled up Codemaster.
I mean, being trapped underwater for 65 million years will do it. We'll do that to you.
She was in the pool a little too long, Sonny.
Has to get like.
I'm not even wrinkled up yet.
She has
reading
to like take energy from people to restore her youth.
And just like eat gold over the course of the movie.
Yeah, she eats gold.
Gold.
I remember when
I'm interested in gold.
Yeah, when she went into the store and started eating, wasn't it a necklace that she started eating? I just remember.
She even like took the necklace off
and
the lady.
Cell and I made
losing it in the theater when that happened.
Cell and I made like the funny joke where like that was actually probably Elizabeth Banks just like doing that. Like,
she was
like,
actually
she was actually just like doing it just to add to the scene, and Dean Usolite was like,
I like to think she took inspiration from Goldmember. I love gold.
No, and it's cool.
Crazy Dutch bastard.
So like this like policeman or whatever like that like goes down or whatever, and like obviously he gets fucking killed, and like so I guess like she kills people to like kind of restore her life force a bit more.
She even like there's even a shot where there's some homeless dude comes up on her while she's like crazy talking to herself.
And like
she pounces on the motherfucker and rips his fucking teeth out
while a cover of Ring of Fire is playing
because
from his little radio around his neck.
Oh my god, that was savage.
Well, actually, no, he didn't kill him because we see him later. Because he was in the chair when like they go to confront her later at the docks. Because that was the same dude. So
was he alive though?
Well, his mouth was covered
because she ripped his teeth out.
Yeah, because like he
was probably bleeding profusely under there.
So because like when you see her staff later, because like she's making like her staff out of all this gold and stuff like that, you can see like the gold teeth and just like different pieces of gold like on her staff.
Oh,
and,
that one shot in the shop where she like finishes her staff and just like slams the coin in it.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome. And then so like Jason wakes up and he's just like, what the fuck happened? And then like goes to like puts the coin like in his dresser in his room. Goes to the bathroom, sees it on the sink.
We get this movie's version of the scene where Peter Parker wakes up with his superpowers.
Oh yeah.
He's like doing the glasses.
Yeah, accidentally smashing a sink and.
Yeah, he like goes to throw up, and then like I guess he meant to like grab the sink like really intensely, but like to like hold himself, but then breaks it. Billy like goes to like get something from his like little cabinet, but he like rips the door open. And he's just surprised himself. Well, that'd be me too. Like if I woke up the next morning and like I like went to like grab my door or something and I ripped it open, I'd be fucking scared shitless too. Like what the fuck?
And then we get the first of many of this movie's headbutt shots, where Colt Wallace tries to snap Billy's wrist and instead gets shot the fuck back.
I'm actually kind of sad that we didn't get any scenes of Trini or Zach like when waking up with their powers or whatever like that.
Yeah,
that would have been nice.
Yes, like, but I feel like they were not very introduced at that point.
That's true. But there was a deleted scene where we see like Zach like waking up or whatever outside of his house, and then he like jumps over the house.
Right.
Yeah. And Kimberly.
I feel like Zach would have the most fun with his powers that morning.
And then like Kimberly.
Maybe he did something we shouldn't see. I don't know.
Kimberly gets,
I'm not saying anything particular. Maybe he was just. Maybe he killed someone. Like.
Oh, I hope not.
I hope not too. But like, there must have been a reason they didn't show anything.
And then like Kimberly gets like an asshole text from her friend, and then like she like crushes her phone, and she's just like. Ah!
Yeah,
she's like super fucking upset. She
immediately dies.
So like Billy or whatever like gets Billy like headbutts the bully. And,
the bully headbutts him.
Oh yeah, he hits him.
He
tries to like break his wrist, but like he's not moving.
Billy tanks the bitch.
Yeah, and then like he makes like he goes like I was like come at me, bro. And, like
his catchphrase for the movie was if you must come at me. Come at me, bro!
And he's wearing like a t-shirt of like a hot dog, like going to like dive into a hot dog bun.
I like that shit.
And then later he has this awesome sweater, which I actually want to find, of just like this outline of a bear. It's like a bear with like blue boxing gloves, and I didn't notice that like the shirt like entirely before. So
I didn't
watched
notice
it
any of that.
When I watched it in my third viewing, I was like, holy shit, it's a fucking bear with boxing gloves on it.
It's
It's
just-
blue, and I'm like, ah!
It's
I didn't
just
notice
like
any
when
of
you're
that.
watching Spider-Man Homecoming and half your thoughts are just, I want Peter Parker's shirts.
Right?
Not the specific ones he's wearing. I mean, with
I want
the
his
same-
shirt off.
No, with the same. No! No! I mean, with the pattern on it. Like,
Yeah, so then, like, they all, like, Jason and Kimberly are like, oh, okay, we need to, like, figure out what the fuck's going on. All right, let's go find Billy. And so, like, Kimberly, like, goes to the Billy and it's like, Billy, can I talk to you, please? And then, like, all the girls are just like, all the guys are like, was that Kimberly Hart talking to Billy Cranston? And it's just like, Billy's awesome.
That's like a Veronica Lodge situation.
Well, yeah, that would be, like, a situation with me, like, if, like, a hot girl talked to me in school, and then, like, everyone would just be like, whoa, Lane's cool. Because, like, in school, like, I wasn't the most popular person, but, like, I was that guy everyone knew because I was that weird. So, like, everyone was like, oh, that's just Lane.
We didn't need to be popular. We had each other.
Exactly. I'm going to be Captain Two Hands.
I thought you were going to hit me with it. That's what I thought.
Time for tube hands.
You can hit me with it if you want.
What would I do with that? Oh my god, that's awful.
I don't know. I just thought you wanted. What is this?
I don't want to hit you. Anyways, so
What?
they have their coins, and they like this kind of thing where just like when each of them show up in like the cafeteria line, like
They
each
just,
of them
like,
just
slam
slam
it
their
down.
coin down, and then it like causes like heat to.
They boil the cafeteria.
And they boil up like soup, and like the soda cans like fucking start exploding. Like no one knows what the fuck's going on. So they're like, all right, let's go back to the quarry or whatever like that. And oh my god, I just realized they discovered their powers in a quarry.
Right?
That's a huge toku trope, quarry.
Yes.
Yep.
God damn it, movie. So they go back. Trini's already there. Zach's already there.
I just imagine like an alternate version, like say like the construction team just like digs up the coins. What the hell is that? No idea.
Morphological.
Fred, better come up here.
Morphological being. It looks
Looks
something like
like
this. Just Rita. Jesus Christ. So then they all realize, oh, we have climbing abilities and stuff, and so they climb up, and then like Trini jumps over a chasm, and then they all jump over a chasm. And then Billy, he of course like kind of goes against it at first, and again, that's what I would do because I sometimes need encouragement to like do something that I'm just like, I don't think so. So that was cute. He falls in.
I just think that whole scene is funny. Like Trini was running away from them because she didn't want to deal with it. But like after 4 out of 5 have jumped over the gap, she just like stands there and watches.
Well, because she's kind of starting to get interested in like what's happening now. So she's like, I might as well just stick around.
Sure.
Well, she's almost about to, and then Kimberly like tricks her by just going like, "Oh, can I borrow your water? Like, I'm dying." And she's
That's
like,
after Billy falls back in
Yeah.
and discovers the water.
yeah, and then like Zach's just like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'm going, woo!" And then Jason's
Surf's
like,
up! I feel like this was the new version of the skydiving scene.
You know what? That makes sense. It's pretty good. And so yeah, they all
Systems
So
go!
they all like end up in the water and they all start glowing. And then there's like one of the best jokes everywhere. It's just like, oh, like Billy's like, I'm blue. It's not my favorite color, but you know, it's still cool. And then like Zach's like, I'm black. And it's like, what? I am.
Yeah, that.
No, you're not.
They just decided to go.
Because that,
with
you
it.
know what? It was funny in the trailer. It still got a chuckle out of me in the movie, in the actual movie. So they go underwater and they discover the alien spaceship.
They discover the gate to fucking island of Miranthius. Like it was straight out of this. It was straight up the same type of gate from the Turbo movie.
It kind of reminded me of the part in Spy Kids 3 when they go into the lava and go underwater and find a hidden passageway.
Well, actually, there's no lava in Halo, and in Metroid, it's molten magma. I don't know why I remember that. Jesus.
So they spill out the bottom of the water.
And then we get like this really, like Zach lands on Trini and it's just like, oh, what's going on? And she's like, oh God, get off me. And then like they find the entrance to the spaceship, and then I like this really cool shot where like Jason like takes out his power coin and it starts glowing, and then it does this cool shot where it's like from like underneath the coin, and then like it kind of shows them like all like gathered in a bunch, just like looking down at the coin glowing. And I don't know why, I really like that shot. It stood out a lot to me. And so, like, the door opens, they go in, and then, like, they're wondering, like, what the fuck's going on, and then, like, Alpha shows up, and, like, it looks...
And he starts pulling a FNAF and stalking them through the darkness.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
And dragging them into the dark.
Yeah, and you see, like, the giant, like, his giant eyes, like, lighting up, like, from a distance, and it's supposed to look like this, like, evil monster, but...
Alpha for FNAF DLC, Christ.
But now, did you notice that, like, those pods, like, he came out with, like, a pod, so, like, were there other Alphas?
He said he was Alpha 5. Wouldn't surprise me if there were others.
How many? I feel like if there's a
least.
sequel, if we get other Alpha 5s,
Alpha 6!
I hope they're Alpha
Yo,
6.
yo, yo!
Yeah, and he has the New York accent. That would be great. And then there's one with, like, where he gets, like, turtle-fied.
And one of the ones from in space, the Power Rangers!
I'm certified turtle-fied!
We need Demetria.
Yeah, we need Demetria, we need fucking
What if
Stromina.
Demetria was one of the original Rangers?
We need Stromina.
Stromina?
Destroy them!
Yeah, she was in the Shattered
So then,
Grid
yeah,
show.
we get introduced to Alpha 5, voiced by Bill Hader, and just, you know what? He was
Power Rangers!
He was a treat.
He was a great
He's
show.
so fun.
I still absolutely irreversibly hate his design, but
I'm
he was
so used to it.
but he was entertaining.
It's Zordon!
Zordon!
They don't know who you are, Zordon.
Yeah.
Zordon, I saved you!
I saved
English!
In English!
I do kind of like how they handled Zordon in this movie. I like the idea of him being like the wall.
He was genuinely intimidating.
And it was like this cool, like, digital wall or
Yeah.
whatever like that. And,
Where,
like,
every pixel of his face was like a block that was moving.
And they, like, try running, and, like, the Rangers try running away or whatever, but, like, the door just immediately fucking shuts, because I guess Zordon did that, because he's just like...
Yeah, you're not going anywhere, you little shits!
And, like... Yeah, and, like, at one point, like, Alpha's, like, counting them out, and it's like, oh, wait, there's another one of you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there you are. And, like,
Just
grabs
drags him
Zach,
back.
and he's like, what the hell is going on?
Like it's a fucking horror movie.
Yeah, and then,
He even comments like, 5 kids, 5 colors, different colored kids!
Yeah, they...
Like, are we really gonna point that out? Alright.
That was great. And, like, yes, so he's like, Zordon's like, oh, they're children. Like, they're so small, like...
I believe they're
I'm like, what, were you guys big?
I believe they're referred to as teenagers.
Teenagers with attitude. Well, you know what? They were teenagers with attitude.
Yeah, this time around they really did have a lot of
I
attitude.
just love how Alpha's like, I'm a talking robot, you can trust me. And Billy immediately buys it.
No, and just, like, Billy's adorable because, like, he does a lot of this moment where he just goes, like... And, like, he's explaining about the Power Rangers, and, like, Billy catches on to, like, what they are. He's like, oh, so, like, you know, warriors that, like, defend, like, life.
But the weird part about that is before they actually, like, explain that, Zach comments, like, it almost sounds like he knows what Power Rangers are. It was almost like...
No, but I liked also that they question it. They're like, Power Rangers? Like, what the fuck?
The Power Rangers!
Eh? And then, like, they talks about, like, the armor or whatever like that when, like, they try to morph and just, like...
Oh, we get armor!
No, and Billy's just like, yeah, oh my god, we get armor! Jason, we get armor. So, like, I feel like that would be, like, a you and me kind of thing.
Oh,
just,
for
like,
sure.
I'd be like, oh my god, we get armor! Each, we get armor!
We get attention!
It's so sweet.
So...
They try morphing, they obviously can't fucking do it, and, like, I love it, Zordon's just like, Alpha, why didn't they morph?
But why didn't they morph?
Like, they're supposed to morph, right? They're the Rangers.
But I
You
love
are
that
the Power
he tries to convince them to join by showing them, like, this weird prophecy where Rita destroys humanity.
It was really sudden, like, he kind of just goes like, it just, like, lifts them up into the air. And
As if Alpha himself wasn't FNAF bait, Rita fucking jump scares them
yeah,
all.
I know. That
like, in this kind of like poltergeist kind of just like, and just,
then-
like, shaking towards
And
them
it
and, like
100%
caressing them
It
and
actually
stuff.
scared me.
And you see, like, people crumbling away like it's the fucking prophecy from Sailor
Or
Moon
it's like
S.
Pompeii or something like that. And then, like, yeah, but it was an explanation for Zordon to be like, this is the evil that I've been trying to fight for, like, years, and she's back.
And we get probably my favorite line ever from Alpha. Okay, so we have 11 months. Wait, sorry, days. 11 days.
Wait, how long has the ship been here? What day is it today? Monday? Yeah, 65 million years.
That one killed me.
Oh my god.
It was 65 million years ago last Monday.
Yeah, so of course they're all just kind of like, no, and, like, Trini actually makes, like, a really good point where it's just like, so, like, that door opened for me, so if I want to leave,
I'm a
go,
ranger,
right?
so it's my ship, so I'm deciding to leave. Fuck you!
Yeah. So then Jason, like, he's just like, I can't speak for all of them, and Zordon's like, oh no, you do. You're the leader, so you're the Red Ranger.
It was funny, like, Zordon, like, talks to Jason like he knows him, and Jason comments on that, so I just want to believe that Zordon was a fan of Jason's football career.
Oh my god!
I've
You know him?
watched you.
That's Jason.
It's Jason Scott.
It's Jason Scott, oh my god. So he goes back, and, like, Jason was like, oh, you waited for me. That's so sweet.
But apparently that was not the case. They just forgot that they had superpowers, and they could have just leapt up into the water.
Yeah, Billy makes a notice of that. He's like, oh, yeah, that's a good point.
So they could have just left.
Yeah, I like it. Like Jason just like fucking jumps out. So he's like, you know what? I'm gonna be here tomorrow, 4 o'clock. If you guys are gonna be here, cool. If you're not,
Sort out your shit and let's reconvene.
Yeah, and like Trinity's being like has like an attitude, just like Kimberly's like, oh yeah, like you're in my English class, and it's like, yeah, actually biology, you stupid bitch.
Way to pay attention.
Way to pay attention.
Which I mean is valid.
Yeah, it is valid.
Yeah.
Like she's a new girl, and then like Trinity goes back to her house, or whatever, like that, and it's like, oh, me and 4 other friends like found an alien spaceship, and I think I'm a superhero, and then her mom's just like, pee in that cup!
Yeah,
And
that she's
Wow.
like,
I will say that was very sudden and wasn't needed.
Yeah, it wasn't a very funny.
It was a little like,
Because her mom was just like, "Can't you just be normal? Like, please, like, talk to us." And
But
like, that's like,
but the thing is, that whole scene makes sense when you find out later that her parents are too normal for her.
yeah,
It like she talks about how like oppressive and non-understanding they are, and during that earlier scene with them, they don't really seem like it because they're like, "So, what did you do today?"
yeah,
But like, obviously, there's more to that than we're seeing.
and then like Zach goes home to like his mom, who's like very very sick, and like he's like
Oh, yeah,
speaking
he has to take care of
Cantonese,
her,
and like
yeah.
he's taking very good care of her, and she's like, "I'm just happy you're home. Like you went out late last night," and then so yeah, the next day they come back to the again, and then it's like, all right, let's try morphing. It doesn't work, and then they're like, all right.
One thing I wanted to notice, because you know me, I'm all about the continuity.
Yep.
When they're back in the command center, their clothes are not wet.
That's true.
Maybe they instant dry. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, maybe it just does dry.
Maybe they use the power coins to heat themselves dry.
Probably. You know what? It's possible. I don't know. It's like their armor has like a air drying feature,
Right. So they try morphing again, and it doesn't work.
And
so
then they go to the pit.
take them to the pit.
And then
I don't want to know what the pit is. Apparently, the pit is just the area outside the ship
That's where they do training.
and they do training there.
Yeah.
Because like you could see the stairs, so it was just where they entered the ship.
And Alpha like shows off his sweet moves, and like it tries hollow fights, and like
Power Rangers!
does the sweep, grab and lift and throw.
Yeah, they suplex the holograms.
Yeah, but he does it to like a little mini putty, and it's like super cute. He made like a tiny little hologram putty.
One thing I noticed during the training is like Alpha says, "Aim for the center mass on the putties," and I'm like,
Aim for the horn.
"They're not Z putties though. Why is that a thing?"
You know, it's just a reference.
I don't know.
And like I like that like they like Billy's like trying to do like basic punches and stuff like that, and like just like fucking Alpha just keeps like smacking him, and then like Billy gets like a punch in and like spins his head around, and he's like, whoa, and then like yeah, at one point like earlier when we see Alpha, he goes like ay.
Oh, he says that a few times.
Yeah. Like the second time he does it, he sounds very like unconvincing.
So earlier when Jason wakes up with the power coin, there's a shot of how he's not wearing his knee brace anymore, which means he's healed thanks to the power coin from his earlier injury.
So it means if he decide to go back to football, he'd be fucking stellar at it.
Right? I wanted to see a scene of him playing football with his superpowers.
Power Ranger powers, yeah.
Well,
Well,
you see him just like
But
standing
remember,
there.
that's one of the rules of being a Power Ranger. You can't use your powers for personal gain, so he couldn't use them to be a football player. Because that'd be using them for the wrong reasons. So yeah, we get this cool montage with like the song "I Can Make Your Hands Clap" because like I know that song really well because it plays in my work all the time. And then like we get like Trini and Kimberly fighting over the last piece of donut, and it's really cute. And there's actually a deleted scene where like the scene happens where they're like laughing about it, and then they look over and there's just Tommy and Kimberly like kind of looking at them, just being Jason David Frank and Amy Jo Johnson. They're kind of like, oh, that was weird. Okay.
Okay.
But that was taken out, so.
But yeah, so during that scene, there's this cute little thing being passed around during detention where they say that they should start a band.
Yeah.
I'm kind of shocked that didn't really have much of a payoff.
Honestly, the whole band thing makes it seem like it was a 70s cartoon.
Well, okay, like
They also
Sounds like
needed to-
later on when we see that note again, it's kind of a metaphor of just them of it being, oh, we should be like good friends in a team.
I
So
know,
it was a
but
metaphor.
I feel like I'd like to see them actually start a band. I feel like if we do get a sequel, it should open with them as a band.
We can play in a band just to be
Right?
safe.
We're the Power Rangers, but not those guys that were on TV.
Shit! We reveal their identity.
Shit!
Their band is called Not the Power Rangers.
We're totally not the Power Rangers.
The
They just like they
Power-
swap their colors around.
Power Rockers.
We're called the Super Sentai.
Oh my...
We are the Super Sentai.
I'm sorry, that was really
So like they
stupid.
try to morph again after this montage, and it's still not working. And my immediate thought is, Kimberly, it's because you're wearing blue.
Oh my...
So then, like, Jason kind of just gets all grumpy and complains and goes like, yeah, we've been busting our asses. And so, like, Alpha's just like, well, as you've been busting your asses, I guess I'll give you something for inspiration. And then just you see Billy, like, clapping his hands, going like, ee, that sounds like...
I'll get my swords for you, Danny!
So he shows them the Zord, shows them the Zords, and, like, they're really cool looking, and, like...
I like how they've just been, like, chilling there with no context.
And Billy's...
They weren't even shown in the flashbacks. This is the
Yeah, that's
first time
true.
they've been seen or mentioned.
Just like,
They're just around,
And-
by the way,
Billy-
you have robot dinosaurs.
sitting in our rock garage.
And Billy does exactly what reaction that I would do as well. He just was like, oh, fucking yeah, Zords!
And Zach's reaction is to immediately joyride it.
Yeah.
Because it's
Almost
Zach.
killing a van of nuns.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that's such a weird
they're
sentence,
like,
but that does happen.
down on the mountain. They're like singing that song. So like he crashes back into the pit or whatever like that, and like almost kills them, and then
My bad.
so like he just kind of like shrugs off Jason, going like, oh whatever, who the fuck cares? And then like they start fighting, and then Billy just like stops them both, and
The power of friendship.
and he's the first one to morph, and it's really cool. And like, he's like, "Oh, this is cool! This is what I'm talking about." It's really
Okay,
cool.
let's go.
So it was really awesome and special to know that Billy was the first one to morph out of all of them. So I was like, yeah, go autism.
But of course it doesn't last, and then Zordon effectively lays down, do it again or get the fuck out.
Did you see it? He
Did you
morphed.
do it?
He morphed. And I'm like, how does Zordon see it? Like, is there a camera in the pit or something?
He's watching them on the viewing globe.
So then, like, Zax just, like, proposes, hey, I'm gonna stay out here tonight, make a campfire, I got food, why don't we hang? And Trini's like, yeah, sure, and then the rest of them are all just like, yeah, sure. And here's to where we get probably one of the best scenes in the entire movie, because, like, we get to really know these guys, and it's just really
It's pretty interesting.
heartwarming. Like, I teared up all 3 times I watched it, because, like, you know, Zach, like, talks about his mom and how sick she is, and he, like, yells out, like, my mom is the best! And, like...
That was nice.
And, like, Billy's secret, he likes country music, and, like...
And also he doesn't miss his dad as much as he thought he did.
Yeah.
That was a little sad, but
that
alright.
was, but
You know what? It's because he moved on. And,
Yeah,
like,
which is fine.
that's something I do, too. Like, sure, like, I miss my grandparents, like, I miss them, but, like, you know, I don't miss them as much as I used to, so... It's relatable. Trini, she's like, oh, I have just problems with everything in my life because I'm a weirdo.
It's because she's moved to 3 schools in 3 years.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So she prefers not being attached to people.
Yeah. Kimberly just decided she didn't want to reveal, and then like Jason has like the most smug response. It's like, oh, what about you? Like, what about you? And
You
it's
guys
like,
know what happened.
No, he's like, everyone knows exactly who I am.
Which I think was a really good film plot moving, I don't even know the term for it, but he didn't explain it because the movie already showed us everything
Yeah.
that happened.
usually it's a show don't tell thing for movies, but they did an okay job with telling this time.
Yeah. And so then the other moments, and then like Rita like blows up like a jewelry store, like with putties, whatever, like that, and
Yeah, we
that cop,
talked with it.
that cop was scared shitless, did not know.
He
what
pulls
the
a
fuck to
shotgun on her, but like,
blast her into the fucking display.
like I know that she's actually dangerous, but he didn't really have much info to go on. All he knew was that they had pushed the alarm. It could have been some random scrub with a knife.
She was this weird, crazy lady with a fucking staff. I would shoot her too.
I still think that was a little bit excessive force.
Nah.
Like, it was perfectly justified once he knew what he was dealing with, but to pull the shotgun on her immediately seems a little excessive.
He was scared. He didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Sure, and he died anyways, but...
So then, this scene, I will say, like, kind of does weird me out. But, like, she goes to Trini's house...
Rita stalking Trini in the night.
And, like, goes to her house.
Homoerotic dreams.
Somehow found her. Don't know how. Maybe...
She's apparently even more so...
You know what it probably is?
She can sense the coins.
The coins. Yeah, because, like... She was a Power Ranger too, so yeah. So, and like, trashes up her room. Don't know how her fucking family didn't wake up to that. Like, at all.
I don't know.
Well, maybe she cast some fucking soundproof barrier or something. Who fucking knows? And like, it was really creepy, and like, she's just like...
She gets all like obsessive, like, stalkers, like
oh, little yellow ranger.
Have you morphed yet?
But like...
Should I kill you like the last one?
Yeah, but I gotta give...
I'll show you mine!
I gotta give...
And then she does the half henshin.
I gotta give props to Elizabeth Banks. She was hamming it up so much.
Was,
but you know what?
Yeah.
That's Rita!
Not enough...
Rita fucking hams it up. Like, even in the original show.
9 out of 10, no migraines.
Yeah, she was over... Yeah, it just sucks she didn't, like, say, oh, I got such a headache. Oh, no, she did. She did say she has a headache.
Did she?
I think she did.
I don't
think it's
remember.
something... Yeah. She's like, oh, you guys give you such a headache, whatever. But yeah, and she's just, like, fucks up, and, like...
one other thing about that scene is, like, at earlier points in the movie, people accidentally call Trini Dee Dee, and, like, Rita says it during that. Her scene with Trini, which means she's been watching them the whole time!
Yeah, makes... You know what?
That puts a whole weird spin on everything!
That makes sense, actually. And
there's
then,
fucking
like...
listening technology in the coins.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, that they're bonded. So, and, like, Trini, like, almost has, like, a one-up on her, but then, like, Rita does, like, the thing, like, oh, you're too strong! You'll kill me! And she's like, I was kidding! I'm just kidding! And I'm like, oh my god. So then, like... She like proposes. She makes a proposal to like join her or whatever like that, and it's like,
join me, I'll die.
Like, tell me where the Zeo crystal is, and like, you know, spare your friends or spare your stupid little town.
And I gotta say, I'm surprised that, like, usually when these kind of like join me or die, betray your friends plots happen, usually there's at least more than 1 second of them considering it before they rat out the villain to their friends. But Trini, like, immediately calls up everyone. Yeah, she fucking came to my house. Let's whoop her ass.
Apparently the deleted...
Not even gonna consider it.
That scene used to be longer and way more homoerotic.
Oh yeah, she like seduces her a bit.
Oh yeah. Fuck, really?
Yeah, because
damn it!
Yeah.
That was originally like one of the scenes or whatever like that they proposed, where it was like there was gonna be like a kind of like almost lesbo scene between the two. And
well,
like,
now I gotta see it.
Well, apparently...
Well, I have the Blu-ray, so we can watch the deleted
apparently
scenes.
It's on there.
Okay.
So then, like, Kimberly goes to Jason's house, like, shows the picture, which
she tells the story about how she
blames herself for, we're the reason we're not morphing. We can't morph because I haven't opened myself to you guys.
She sent a nude picture of her bitchy friend Amanda to some kid called Ty. He called her mean for doing so, and she responded by punching his tooth out.
Which, it got put back in. They mentioned that like 3 times.
Right? But Jason says something that I actually took a lot of personal inspiration from. Doing an awful thing doesn't make you an awful person. Like, that's actually really good life advice.
And interesting too.
I agree with that.
In this scene, there was originally actually a scene where like they kiss. I'm actually very glad, and the fandom agrees, that it's a good thing that wasn't put in, because that just would have been
random.
Yeah, because like we don't. There's sort of chemistry, but it's not. It's very, very slightly hinted, but not by much.
Wouldn't that make the chemistry less somehow?
Yeah, but anyway, so I'm glad that kissing scene was in. But yeah, no, that was a really good scene, and shows how like kind of Jason being a leader, and it's cool.
And Jason also, since Trini is spilling on Rita, Jason also spills to them that Zordon just wants to use their morphing to come back to life because he doesn't trust them to do the job.
Yeah, and like Jason's like, "Fuck you!" Like,
we're all screw-ups. Let's go kick this interdimensional space witch's ass.
Yeah, so they like grab some weapons and stuff.
They just straight up grab chains and pipes and shit, and they think they're gonna fight a space witch.
Yeah. Oh, and earlier Billy like finds out where the Zeo crystal is, where it's underneath the Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme. I remember freaking out at the Krispy Kreme.
So
Back at it again at Krispy Kreme.
So they go to confront Rita, and Rita fucking goes to town on them, whips their asses.
Like, she leaves the homeless man whose teeth she ripped out as bait, and then, like, as they gather around, she just, like, flies down and just shockwaves them.
Yeah, I like that, like, every time, like, she kind of showed up, like, there would be, like, drips of, like, water or whatever like that,
Yeah.
because she's, like, super wet or something.
I'm surprised it wasn't, like, drips of gold.
I didn't think
That
I'd
would've
hear
been
the
cool.
phrase, she left the homeless man whose teeth she ripped out as bait, in
Right.
reference to a Power Rangers film.
Right?
You know, remember when she left that fucking toothless homeless guy as bait?
Face Core brings up a good point. The Blu-ray Billy had TNT. Why didn't they bring some of that?
Oh my god!
Because it's dangerous to use explosives like that. That wouldn't have worked.
She's more dangerous.
But she could have, like, thrown them back at them or something, blew them up.
Right back at you. Yeah.
I need a monster.
So she ties them all up in a boat, threatens them, and then, like, she knows, like, she's like, eeny, meeny, miny, blue, and, like, tries to, like, get the information, threatens to kill Zack or whatever, and Billy's like, okay, this is you, Krister.
Also, this was where they get another headbutt in the movie, because, like, Rita's, like, grilling Jason, and he just headbutts her.
Yeah, and that was great.
I like how many headbutts are in this movie.
Oh, yeah, well, because headbutts are fucking effective, man. And then, like, so Billy goes, like, it's buried underneath the Krispy Kreme. And just, I love just Rita, Krispy Kreme. Is this an important place?
It's a special place, the source of all life.
And eventually she does eat a donut.
I must find this Krispy Kreme. It's just like, so, like, okay, yes, this movie was sponsored by Krispy Kreme, and, like, sure, like, they dropped the name a lot, it pissed a lot of people off. Cell especially, like, he really fucking hates this.
We did find out after the fact that it was just the filmmakers,
the directors was like idea.
being stupid idiots.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually like, you gotta say it this many times.
Yeah. And
Well,
honestly,
I thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny and tropey as hell. So I was okay with the Krispy Kreme joke because it got a chuckle out of me every single time I heard him say it.
I'm kind of halfway on it. I did appreciate the thought, and it was funny, but I do think it was just a tad overused.
Because we're never gonna hear a fucking villain ever again say Krispy Kreme.
It was after this. It was this viewing that I decided to start calling the Zeo Crystal the Crispy Crystal.
So
oh
she decides, well, I need to kill one of you. So she goes,
If I don't kill one of you, Zordon won't respect me. You really care if Zordon respects you at this point?
Just flip
So it
me
looks like
down and I
someone's-
get this.
Looks like someone's still insecure.
I think
Krispy
that was like
Kreme
sarcasm,
jelly
maybe. So she kills Billy.
Just drops him
Yeah,
in the drink.
she does just kill him.
It's
yeah.
sad, but it happens. I will fully admit I wasn't fazed by it when I watched it the first time because I knew
But they wouldn't.
they haven't morphed yet. They need him back. It's obvious.
And unfortunately, that's where people like us who are fans of the genre sort of start to slip out of the, suspension of disbelief.
But I will say, like, I did my third viewing, like, when they were, like, really sad about him being dead and they were, like, taking him back to the command center, that hit me in the feels a bit, because it, like, and they were, like, all so sad, and, like, they, like, go to Zordon, because that was interesting that they take him back to Zordon because they think Zordon can do something, and Zordon's just like, I can't do anything, I'm sorry.
For me, that scene was really sad, even though I knew they were going to revive him.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it was especially because of the cover of Stand By Me.
Oh, yeah.
Because last year, when we first watched the movie, this was also around the release of Final Fantasy 15, which also opened with a cover of Stand By Me, so that song really had an effect on me last year.
Yeah, and that cover of Stand By Me is really good, too. So, yeah, and, like, they all just go, you know what, I would trade my life for Billy's, just to, like, get him back or whatever like that. And, like, I just, at this point, while watching it, I'm like, in tears. Like, I'm crying, because I'm just like, oh my god, and then, like, the morphine grid opens, and, like, Alpha's like, oh, Zordon, this is your chance, and, like, we see him, and he's not there, but then he comes back, and it's like, oh, Zordon, that was your chance. He's like, I know, but I did the right thing, and Billy comes back to life, and they all, like, they're so happy, and, like, I was, like, my tears of sadness turned to tears of joy, and I was so happy they were all reunited.
I'm just thinking, like, alternate timeline. Billy coughs the water out, wakes up, stands up, Zordon's voice comes out of his mouth.
Oh my god, that would have
Well,
actually...
let's get to work.
That would have actually been
I'm the
cool.
new Blue Ranger. Isn't that great or what?
Isn't that great or what?
And then
I'm Bryan Cranston.
And then Billy's head comes out of the wall. Yeah!
Oh, it'd be funny. Oh my god, it'd be funny.
Guys, I'm a wall!
Because, you know, Billy Cranston, Bryan Cranston.
Yes.
Yeah?
They just...
That was entirely the
Billy
idea.
didn't die. They just switched places.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's just, Billy's like their AI at the command center.
And he'd be
Right?
freaking good at it, too.
Right? Oh, but yeah, for
Jesus.
those who don't know, Billy
Do you
Cranston
think
from
he'd
Power
be mad
Rangers
about it? Like, I
was-
Well,
Wasn't-
it's like that episode of Star Trek TNG where like Reginald Barclay or whatever, he like becomes super like intelligent and then fuses himself with the ship's computer so he can become like more powerful.
But like Billy Cranston in Power Rangers was in fact named after Bryan Cranston, I think.
Yeah, because
And-
Bryan Cranston was like a writer on the show.
And then like voiced some monsters or something.
Yep. No, he had a huge impact in Power
So
Rangers.
that's why he's Zordon in this. It's so great.
But like it's Bryan Cranston, he's fucking good in everything he does. So
the movie would have been like 50 times funnier if Rita was played by Lois from Malcolm in the Middle. You gotta save me from Lois! She's gonna destroy Earth!
how?
characters aren't actors.
I know, but you know.
So then it's morphing time, and like I love how badass fucking Jason says it too. He's like, "It's morphing time," and I'm just like, "Oh shit!"
I am still angry that they cut away in the middle of the morph!
Yeah, they don't...
Well, it was supposed to be like really dramatic and suspenseful, and like, "Ooh, look at it," and then we get like the hyped up
The
fucking.
whole point of Power Rangers is the tropes, the biggest of which is the henshin! You don't cut away from the debut henshin!
No, but it does, but it's in a cool way, and then it cuts to like this really cool music, and then there's all of them standing in a row, walking, looking really badass, and I was standing there seeing them, and I was just like, yeah! Power Rangers, motherfuckers!
Bill Hader. Power Rangers!
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then Rita goes to construction site, and...
Oh, one other thing. Like, after Zordon revives Billy, he's like, they were all like, oh, but I thought you wanted to come back. And Zordon's like, there can only be one Red Ranger. Cut to Lupinranger versus Patranger.
Catch me if you can. I'm sorry, this is weird.
Anyway, so Rita builds Goldar, and like...
And the putties start flying into the pit.
Yeah, that was cool, and then, like, they do some really cool, like, underwater, like, fighting, and then they, like, take it to the...
Superhero landing!
And, yeah, and, like, I love it, dude. They do, like, the generic, they do kind of, like, the Power Rangers, like, ah! kind of thing, so that was really cool. They start fighting, and, like, Billy comments, like, oh, this is much easier with the suits, or whatever, like that.
And Jason just, like, nonchalantly spawns his sword and starts fighting with it.
I like to think in, like, his helmet there was, like a little icon that was just like, you have a sword.
But, like, they don't call attention to it at all. They don't, like, oh my god, I have a sword! And
They just have a sword.
And also, no one else even notices or comments on it or tries
They're
to
busy
spawn their
fighting.
own weapon.
They're busy fighting. It's fine. It's fine.
These are tropes that need to be respected.
Whatever. They were busy fighting. So then, like, Zach's like, oh, I'll be right back, jumps back into the pit, comes back out with the mammoth sword, and just, like, wrecks all the buddies, and then...
That was great.
So then, like, we cut back to Rita, and she's like, make my monster grow!
Yeah, she
and, like,
said
summons
That was
Goldar.
great.
So,
That was great.
Goldar is cool looking. He is, like, terribly CGI'd,
He's also
but, like...
not Goldar.
Right?
But also, this is Power Rangers. The
Just
CGI has never been really that good.
Just how fucking hilarious would it have been to
If
just
it sounded like Goldar.
just like it starts going, yes, my queen! I am Goldar! Get in my chest!
Yeah, then they fuse together.
They-
Yes. Honestly, this is gonna be super weird and obscure-ish, but you know what it reminded me of?
Hmm?
The climax of Keiichiro Movie 2,
I haven't watched it.
where
so-
the main villain attaches Natsumi to his chest
Uh,
and then goes insane. Or rather, he goes insane first, and then that happens. But sorry,
So then...
they all get in their Zords, and like their masks open up so we can see them emoting, which I still don't like. I understand it so we can see them emoting, But that's another thing Power Rangers has to make up for with its suit actors.
I don't understand why they didn't do it like Iron Man style, where they just sort of showed the inside of their helmets.
Right?
I like to think it's maybe A, because they're in their Zords, so they don't have to protect their identities, and they can just like communicate and breathe easier or something. I don't fucking know. But anyways,
I'm sure those are the in-universe
so
reasons.
then we get the 95 movie Power Rangers theme
Oh
play.
my
It's
God!
so fucking cool.
It's
and then,
good, but it ends too quickly.
and then, yeah, no, and then
I remember cheering in the theater.
We all
we
did!
did.
We were all just
And then-
like, yeah!
and then
that's
Billy
great.
marches in with his Zord backwards, and it's really funny.
And they get, like, motion controllers to pilot the Zords with.
Yeah, that was really cool. And then, so then they cut to Angel Grove, and like it's being attacked. Power by Kanye West starts playing, but it's like a really, really nice song to have while they're fighting their Zords.
And I just love that Rita's like, oh good, they found their costumes and their dino cars.
Well, that's pretty
Dino cars! That is the best term ever for a Zord.
It's surprisingly accurate, isn't it?
Right?
So then, like,
Although even saying that will channel Cell's wrath, because he's always angry about the fact that they call them the dinosaurs, because they're not all dinosaurs.
prehistoric animals.
That's true.
So then, like, Kimberly's like kicking so much ass in the pterodactyl Zord.
She like barrel rolls putties, and like one of them lands on her no longer friend's car.
And then Jason like takes like a Chevrolet Camaro and then like throws it at a bunch of puppies and he's like, "Sorry, Bumblebee!" And, like that got a laugh out of everyone.
That
when
was
we
just
saw
a
it.
giant fuck you, Transformers.
Exactly. That they're like, we want to do better than the
Yeah, I think that was his
Transformers
teen Israelites. Fuck you to Michael Bay.
Right?
So
Yeah.
and so they're
F you were doing exactly the same thing he did.
so then like Rita finds the Krispy Kreme and then there's just a shot of her like while Goldar's like fucking shit outside. She's just like inside trying a donut, just like nonchalantly eating one.
And weirdly, Destiny's Child Survivor is playing.
That song is really overused, but I still love it.
Right?
Yeah, and then like they're fighting in the Zords and stuff like that, and then at like one point, Jason's dad's like driving down like for some reason, I guess, like trying to escape, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm on this corner of Murder Bay and Reefside."
Great references to cities from two different Power Rangers
Yeah,
series.
I think Lightspeed Rescue and Dino Thunder.
Yes.
So yeah, and like he meteor like fireball hits him, and then he like winds up upside down in his car, and there's a fire, and it's about to explode.
Yeah, this scene
So,
was
like,
in the trailer.
Jason notices it and like goes to run to him, and I like that like he puts his like visor, like helmet back on or whatever like that.
And like his dad is scared because he assumes that the Rangers are also alien villains.
Yeah, he thinks like they're attacking. He's like, "Sam, like, take my hand."
I didn't understand that scene until I watched it yesterday, but like he thought he was one of the monsters.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a fair assumption.
And so yeah, he calls him by his first name, and like I think that's how he developed trust. He's like, "Oh, Sam, like, take my hand." And then like what's interesting is like he's like, "Oh, you okay?" Or then like he's like, "Oh, I'll be fine, just go."
He knows that he has to go save the day.
And so yeah, Kimberly like grabs Billy and then like throws him off, and like I love Billy's reactions to everything the whole time because he's just like whoa, ah! And he's like, "Yeah, this is bad,
Well, yeah, that's
bad mother."
That's Mother's good.
Mother's good. Mother's good because like he tries not to swear, even
Right.
though he says like ass a couple times.
There was one point early in the movie where they almost say shit, but then they cut him off with shh because they know that with the way the movie's rated, they can only say shit once, which they say later during the scene.
Yeah, like he says,
like, well budgeted.
Jason says bullshit at one point too. But, like,
Oh, yeah.
bullshit's okay.
Bullshit's
to say.
down, yeah.
I think that's considered lesser somehow.
But yeah, like Goldar like swats the pterodactyl Zord out of the sky once or twice.
Yeah,
And then, yeah, Dactyl picks up the Tricera and just like launches it right into Goldar.
and like at Rita too. Rita's like, "What?" So then like Rita gets like really fucking pissed off, and then so like they all
the gold like heals her.
Yeah, and then like they form like a line in front of
Hold the line.
Yeah, hold the line. Exactly.
Just like Mass Effect.
Yep. And so like they're
Which they are apparently terrible at.
well they're new at this.
No,
They're
I know
trying-
it's not their fault.
They're doing their best.
Their best.
And then yeah, so they fall into the pit or whatever like that,
And it's at that point that I'm remembering lines from both of our earlier Power Ranger movies. Throw him in the fire! Throw him in the fire! leap to our doom.
I can't hold on much longer. And then I like to say with the power of the Zeo Crystal, because they fell into the pit where the Zeo Crystal is.
It's safe to assume that
they formed the Megazord, and it's also because Rita's reaction. She's never seen this before, and she's like, "How?" So
the fact that she says "how" sort of makes me think that this is something that she recognizes,
But not how.
but something that she knew existed, but they never did it,
Maybe
Or-
it
or
usually
it's
because they weren't friends.
Maybe it requires a Green Ranger.
Well, I mean, theirs doesn't.
but
Yeah,
also
that's
it
true.
could be.
I think it requires them to be friends, which Zordon and Rita have been clear about. The previous Rangers were not friends.
But also, it could be interpreted that her reaction was just like how? Like,
How did they do it?
How did
Yeah.
they, like, no, but, like, how were they able to make a Megazord out of that?
Right, and like as they come up and like you see like the smoke and everything, I also immediately think of from the movies, my Lego.
And
And Billy comes up with the name for the Megazord.
yeah, it's like, oh, it's called Megazord. No, that's a Megazord.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I didn't realize this until my third viewing of the movie. But yeah, the Megazord's supposed to look like a Power Ranger.
No, absolutely, with the chest crystal.
Yeah, the chest crystal.
No, I picked up on that right away.
And
That's
it looks
an interesting
cool.
Concept.
I still don't like it.
I do. And like what we thought were fucking wings on the back of the Megazord, no, they're swords.
Swords!
So the Megazord has pink swords, and I was totally like,
Sure.
yeah, pink swords, motherfucker.
So Rita sees the Megazord and responds, "Fuck you! I'm gonna pilot Goldar."
And then they fuse together. You know what?
I already.
Do you know what would have
did
been
that
cool?
joke.
You know what actually would have been a cool nod to the '95 movie? If like Rita's kind of like figure,
Golden
like,
Avenues.
like yeah, and like her face kind of showed up. Like,
Oh
like
God!
that would have
That
been
would have been
awesome.
cool, actually.
That would've been
Like her
creepy.
her likeness was just like in the form of Goldar.
It's a Mega Rita.
It's a Super Shredder.
It's a super shredder.
So the first time they try taking a step, they trip because they don't know that each of them control a
Yeah,
limb.
that was pretty funny.
So that was cool. I'm glad they actually just didn't know automatically how to pilot the Megazord.
Let's quap this shit,
yeah,
motherfucker.
Swap, yeah.
And like Billy at first was like, "Nah, I wish I was an arm so I could punch," but like, and I was like, "Me too, Billy, me too." But like, he does like this cool kick, and then like they swing a right hook and a left hook, and then
They suplex Goldar.
yeah, they do the swipe, grab, lift, throw.
Slip, grab, and lift.
Yeah, slip, grab, lift, and throw. And yeah, and then they take out the swords
And stab through the heart.
and then Rita's just like, wait, and like goes on this whole space. It's just like, oh, others will come, and like,
This is how we bait for the second movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then and like Jason just goes like, yeah, you know what? Give us your coin staff. Zordon will judge you, and she's
Yeah,
like,
that
Zordon will judge me.
Like hell!
And she tries to live.
She just like leaps at them with her staff. Like,
and then just the Megazord, which I just got a huge laugh at. Just they slap her out
Yeah,
of,
they just-
into the
they
fucking
parry
sky.
her into space.
And you like we get this like hilarious view of just like her like in the air, just like ah, and just Jason's like,
One thing
or
to
Billy's like, did you slap her? And just
Weird,
like,
right?
Weird, right? And,
Yeah.
But one thing to notice is that if you pay attention, you'll see that her coin and staff flew off in a different direction.
Yeah.
which means probably Tommy will find it at some point.
Absolutely.
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 Obsolete. I'm tired.
So then
Which
Billy's
one's
like
the one?
celebrating, and it's like, oh, look, there's our principal! Hey!
One
they
thing
can't see me.
one thing else to notice about Rita is as she flies out into space, she heads towards the moon.
Well, sort of. Like the moon's in
the moon's
the
direction.
moon's direction. And
They
she's
sort
like,
of make
immediately
sure
like
to show
freezes
that,
up.
don't they?
And then Billy does...
After 10 days, I'm free!
and then Billy starts doing the algebra. Like swings the Megazord's hips and starts doing a dance.
I
It's
didn't
fucking
like
amazing.
it in Go Buster! I don't like it here!
No, it was-
Dancing
it was
Megazords
adorable.
need to stop!
And then we see, and the crowd of people gathering around looking at the Megazord, we see Jason David Frank and Amy Jo Johnson, and they're taking pictures with their phones, and it's like, oh, okay, cameo, cool.
I guess that's where they retired to.
So then they go back to the command center. Jason sheaths the sword, and he's like, "Oh, I'll be back for it someday. Don't worry." And
I'll be back.
Gar made an interesting
someday.
mention where this is where Zordon should have ended it with "May the power protect you," which
Yeah.
that would have been a nice little line.
One thing I don't get though is like, so him sheathing the sword means that they
He
all
can't
like
morph?
gave up their powers, because that was never really established.
No. I think it's still part of them because they still have their coins. I think. It
But
just,
like, why wouldn't when they unmorphed?
I think he
why
meant I'll be
wouldn't-
back for the sword.
But like, why would the sword not have vanished when he unmorphed? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Actually.
I realized it was supposed to be like symbolic to represent their powers in the entirety, because
Yeah.
they just wanted to be normal again.
So then.
You know what else is worth noting? Jason's dad never asked why his leg healed up.
Whatever. So then we, like, Trini, they're rebuilding a room, whatever, and then, like, the kids are like, "Oh, look at the Ranger, I want a Blue Ranger," and Trini's like, "Oh, what about the Yellow Ranger? Oh, yeah, he's cool." Makes you think he's
Yeah.
a he.
Nice nod to Z
Yeah,
Ranger.
the fact that in the original, before
Yeah.
they adapted it.
Billy's just, like, downstairs taking down his maps that he made of this, trying to find the Steel Crystal, and fucking Billy's mom's just like, Jason Scott, Kimberly Hart, Zach Taylor, and Dee Dee!
I like how that.
Trini, Mom!
I like how that was essentially your one friend is here, and your other friend is here, and your other friend is here, and someone I don't know is here.
Yeah, presumably one of his other friends.
And we also see Zach's mom telling Zach the story of the Rangers.
Well, she probably saw it on the news.
I was about to say, like,
It's
how
probably
did
broadcasted on the news.
I was about to say, like, how would she have seen that if she's bedridden?
And then Zach's just like, were they good looking?
I don't know, you little shit. They had masks on.
So they go
terrible.
back to detention where, like, yeah, we found
Back
out,
to action!
We found out earlier in the movie that, like, the reason Billy was in detention was because he blew up his lunchbox
Yep, which then happens again.
in the locker, and then he makes the lightning bolts,
and they pass it around.
I'm actually going to say that I really like that lightning bolt and that logo. So probably someday in the future, I'm going to get that tattooed on my forearm.
And the best part is they cut to the credits with a call of "I've got the power."
Yeah.
The song from the '95 movie.
Yep. And then we get
Our after credits scene.
Yeah, the one where
Tommy Oliver is
Tommy
joining us in
Oliver.
detention today.
Yeah, and
Tommy
they have
Oliver.
the green jacket on the.
and then there's a green jacket.
I remember after that happened, there was an article going around that people were theorizing that Tommy Oliver in
Was a
this
girl?
continuity may be a woman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I wouldn't be opposed to. I'd like to see how they pull that off, because, I mean, it would mean less designing, less modifying of the Ranger suit.
Yeah. And so that's it. And as again, I haven't said this enough, but just like I've said this more than enough. But like I fucking love this movie. It's so good.
I had some nitpicks, but what I enjoyed more than not enjoying what I didn't enjoy, if you can figure out
Yeah,
what I mean
yeah,
by
so
that.
You give it your Castranger rating of watch it.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Finish it!
Finish it. Complete it.
Steve.
But yeah, for me, it's literally it's in my like top 10 favorite movies of all time. Like it's so great. This movie's brought me so much happiness, and like, you know, Billy's my favorite character because I relate to him so much, and like I have a collection of like a bunch of figures of him and stuff. I have a stuffed toy of him. I have this like keychain of like a pop keychain of him that I keep on me at all times because I take it out and look at it for like inspiration, because like Billy Cranston's one of my heroes, and I'd probably say that these guys are like my favorite Power Rangers, like probably tied with Lightspeed Rescue. So
I do fully recognize this as a milestone for the franchise, and I hope that we do get another movie.
please, I really hope we get a fucking sequel, because I do not want this.
I know
franchise
they
to end.
mentioned that they wanted like 6 sequels, but I think that's a little overambitious. I'll be happy if we get at least
I
one.
think
Yeah,
a
one
sequel
more.
would be
Oh,
good.
there's Gar.
'cause
Hi, Gar.
We don't have to worry about Oh, hello.
I don't think he's listening.
So we don't have to worry about seeing more origin story again. It can start right with the action.
Right? We can get more Power Ranger action. And maybe a proper henshin!
Emily, what do you think of the movie?
This is gonna sound really silly. but
Probably not.
I'm never gonna forget the day I went to see it. because I've never actually seen a movie like with a group of people before. Like
Me
that.
neither. No, that was a really, really great night. Because, like, today, as of this recording, marks the exactly 1 year ago when we all, as a group, went to go see it, like, the night before it was actually supposed to come out, which is the 24th of March.
I'm so surprised we got that, too.
No, that's why I was very excited for that, because I saw the date ahead of time, and I was just like, oh my god, like, literally, we can talk about this as a featured topic, so... Like, I'm actually starting to lose my voice now because I've been yelling and talking so much, but just, like, I love this movie. So, if you haven't seen it yet, as a Toku fan, what's wrong with you?
It's
you
on
need to go
Netflix.
see it. But, like, go support this movie if you can. Like, buy, like, a figure, buy a pop vinyl, buy the Blu-ray.
Buy! Sell!
Like,
bear market on Power Rangers!
Support this movie any way you can, guys. Like, I'm serious. Like, we get the message out that, like, we want a sequel. Like, I want a sequel. So, but anyways, this has been Castranger for this week, so...
Jikai, Radio Sentai Castranger. Our feature topic for next week will be Kamen Rider Snipe, Episode 0, Episode 4.
We already talked about it.
Right, didn't we? Yeah,
That was last week.
Yeah, okay, sorry. It'll be the Paradox Hyper Battle video. I had my schedule backwards.
Yerp.
So yeah, we're finally going to start playing some catch-up on Exade.
Yay,
Ooh,
Exade.
future topics list.
I could just send this to you.
Emily's just like, yes.
She's like taking a picture of the list with her
Dude,
phone.
don't you expose that to our fans,
No,
alright?
I'm not gonna know it, so I can know what they are, so I don't have to ask every week what's the feature
Just
topic.
message me tomorrow and I'll send it to you.
Alright.
So, as usual, thank you all for listening and watching and liking and favoriting and sharing and subscribing. We love you all!
And may the power protect you guys. We love you.
Primary source of our hijinks is castranger.podbean.com, and you can find the links to all of our other stuff there, including our merchandise, our Discord, upon which you can listen to our show live,
Oh, yeah.
and our many social mediums. So,
Woo!
thank you all, and we'll see you next week!
Thank you very much for listening.
I love Power Rangers.
Radio Sentai Castranger is brought to you by our generous patrons, Oliver Nilsson, and viewers like you.